KOZN, Bellevue, Omaha, Council Bluffs. It's the Connor Happer Show with Connor Happer and Josh Otson. Let's get ready to rumble. Really, guys? Really?
Let's get ready to rumble.
Really ready to rumble? Really?
You guys look like, what do they look like, Jimmy?
Dorks. They look like a couple of dorks.
On 1620, The Zone.
All right, here we go. Welcome in. Happy Friday. It is the Connor Happer Show here at 1620 The Zone, 1620thezone.com. It's where you can find us both audio and video right there on the homepage at 1620thezone.com. We would encourage you all to do so. Here we are. Connor Happer, Josh Odson with you. We'll have our normal slate of Friday guests, which includes Bryan Munson, Bryan Christopherson, the Bryans, and then unemployed Steve Sipple, who finished up his 33 years at the Lincoln Journal-Star yesterday and finished it up with a margarita, as he likes to enjoy on Cinco de Mayo. A fitting end for Sipple. So we'll chat with him at 1. Sipple's going to be Sipple's not going anywhere. Although I'll bring this up when we talk to him in the 1 o'clock hour. His thing has always been, hey, if this doesn't work out, or there's an opportunity for this to happen, where you move on, whether it's just from the Journal-Star of the industry. Now Sipple's staying in the industry and he's staying around here. So that's a little bit of a different thing. But he always said, you know what I would do? I would become a long-haul truck driver.
Oh, really?
I was wondering what your response was going to be to that, and it went about exactly how I thought it would. Oh, really?
It makes sense and doesn't make sense all at the same time.
Yeah, Sipple's a highwayman. He spends a good amount of his time out at the truck stop called Shoemakers on Northwest 48th Street, and in good old on the outskirts of Lincoln, Nebraska. I don't know if that was the one that they wrote about, that the Zach Brown band wrote about in that one song. But that is not what Sipple will be doing. He will not be on the lam. He'll be around. So we'll chat with him about maybe a little bit about his next endeavor. Probably not so much. You'll hear about that on your own time. And then maybe his time at the Journal-Star, but more so Husker football, of which we have some things to discuss as we head into the weekend. We'll have some predictions for the weekend. We'll do our thing with the local baseball teams again. Nebraska needing, I hate to do this, but get 3 this weekend for Nebraska. That's all 3 at Minnesota. It's not easy. It's not an easy ask, but if you want to put yourself in firm position to make the Big Ten tournament, which Nebraska desperately needs to do, and the conference desperately needs them to do, and the city of Omaha, for that matter, would like them to do, that'd be really great. You could have the home team there, bump the attendance numbers up a little bit here at Charles Schwab Field, the Chuck. In just a couple weeks, you need Nebraska in that tournament. So even if you are an Omahan who doesn't quite have the affinity for Nebraska baseball, you may be rooting for Nebraska this weekend as they take on 2-13 in the Big Ten, Minnesota, the Gophers. RPI 243, by the way. Needing 3 on the road. Creighton goes to UConn this weekend for a huge series, top of the Big East there, and then South Dakota State comes to Tal Anderson Field in Summit League play for Omaha. So we'll set our number a little bit later on in the show, how many combined wins for the 3 local teams, and talk about that. The Derby? Josh, are your juices flowing for the Derby?
Kind of.
Really?
Any excuse to drink,
Okay.
I'm there.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Because you're a huge mint julep guy.
I like mint juleps. I like gambling.
I'm lukewarm on the mint juleps.
The Kentucky Derby has it all.
Give me a whiskey drink, though. I'm fine with it. Kentucky whiskey, bourbon, whatever they call it, I guess.
And more times than not, that race is...
I'm going to get brown liquor shamed for that, by the way.
But you said bourbon and it's whiskey. Gosh, you're so stupid.
Yeah, the other
Nobody
way.
cares. Shut up. Shut up, bourbon guy.
Wow. All right. Nice.
Don't awe technically us. We're just trying to get drunk.
It's booze. And then in the NBA, two teams down 2-0. Still a question about Joel Embiid's status for tonight. He is currently listed as out. This is one of my favorite things of the day. Yesterday. So Joel Embiid not only does he have the broken orbital bone in his face, so he'll have to wear a mask if and when he does play. He's got the thumb thing as well that he's dealing with. He is also in the concussion protocol. So he has to be listed technically as out until he gets freed from the concussion protocol,
which I believe as of yesterday he had not cleared.
And as of right now, still,
Okay.
I don't know when the update comes today. There's some optimism that he might give it a go tonight. But he had said, yeah, it was really difficult to watch anything on TV because of the state he was in with his concussion. Yesterday, Sixers fans were fired up because Joel was live tweeting a soccer match that he must have been watching on TV or on his phone or on his computer or whatever. So we were like, oh yeah, he's coming back. The beat up Joel Embiid trying to get his Sixers back from a 2-0 hole in that series. That will.
But then the
fire back up
organization
tonight.
needs to decide, is this worth it? Risk next year for 2 games?
Yeah, I don't know if you. Well, okay.
It's the playoffs. You're probably going to do it.
Yeah.
But someone in that organization has brought up, this is a good
sure?
idea.
Yeah.
We sure? Also,
Yeah.
Doc Rivers, thanks for leaving Joel Embiid in the game up 20 in a clinching game. You're going to get fired.
Don't talk to Doc Rivers.
You're going to get fired.
You can't say anything to Doc Rivers. All right, so that is what's coming up on the show today. The lineup is powered, as always, by the referees at John Higgins Weather Guard. We'll have best thing I saw in baseball. And we'll jump into, there has been a different NIL story, whether it is about a player and what they experienced in our new NIL transfer portal world, or more so this week, it has been a case of legislation and the different pieces of that we've had this entire week. There has been a different story every week, so we will jump into the NIL corner and catch up with everything that is going on. And you know what? Why don't we jump into that now? So yesterday, the story was from a administrative standpoint is that they are searching for new guidelines, additional NIL guidelines, college leaders urging NCAA to enforce new NIL guidelines, ... or else. The Colorado AD is very mad. He says, and I quote, "This is the time we have to put our stake into the ground. Enough! This is not acceptable." Frustrated Colorado Athletic Director Rick George says, "What we're doing is not good for intercollegiate athletics, and it has got to stop." College Leaders is from Ross Dellinger of Sports Illustrated, who's been all over this from the administrative standpoint. College Leaders are strongly urging the NCAA enforcement team to begin investigating what they deem to be obvious recruiting violations, past and present. Donor-led collectives that have struck deals with players before they sign binding letters of intent are violating rules, says George, the Colorado AD, one of the leaders in the NCAA working group that will soon publicize additional NIL guidelines. So the interesting part about this, so that they're working through finalizing these things already. They're expected to help regulate these deals that officials say are encouraging current players to remain on their teams, inducing recruits to sign with the schools. A developing situation on Tuesday, Sports Illustrated reported the impending release of the guidelines, which could happen as early as next week. Both the Colorado AD and Gene Smith, the Ohio State AD, also in the working group, confirmed the existence of the guidelines. So they want to keep the boosters and the collectives separate. But the interesting part note that was out yesterday floating around, which was that these rules will be enforced retroactively.
What?
So any violations of the boosters being too involved or having direct contact with players or anything like that, the NCAA is then going to go back and try to enforce punishment on them. Which
they can't enforce punishments of current violations.
that is correct, Josh. That is correct. Astute observation. The guidance clarifies existing NCAA bylaws that prohibit boosters from being involved in recruiting. Any booster or booster-led collective that has been found to have associated with prospects about recruiting on another college team or in high school will be found to have violated the NCAA rules and put the booster's school at risk of sanctions. In addition, a booster or booster-run collectives cannot communicate with a student-athlete or others affiliated with a student-athlete to encourage them to remain enrolled at or attend an institution. George says, just because we have NIL doesn't eliminate the rules. Everybody is like, it's NIL. I'm totally in favor of NIL. Done right, it's really good. Athletes should be able to monetize their NIL, but a lot of what's going on out there is not NIL. And he's right about that. To this, I would say, I would start off by saying kind of, good luck. It's a step in the right direction, right? And I get what they're going for. And I know this has kind of been nauseating because we've talked about it the entire week. At the same time, good luck. Defining who a booster is, all that stuff. The thought is there, and there is definitely a willingness or a need by the people who have been tasked to be in charge of all this stuff. To make some changes, which is good. But at the same time, like I said, good luck. Because it's not going to, like, once again, we do this every time we talk about a story like this. You open the door, the water is bursting through the door, and now we got to pull the door back a little bit.
Yeah, once you introduce the money, there's no getting the money out.
Right.
Of the game, and let's just get this out of there because somebody's going to call up and say this.
Now the point is,
this has been happening for years. People have been paying players for years, and this is just out in the open now. Yes, we know.
The point is, the NIL money that is going around right now, in a lot of cases, isn't being used for NIL. It is pay for play. If you can eliminate that piece of it, and if you can, importantly, find a distinction between the two and evidence of a distinction between the two, whether that means with boosters getting involved or where the money is actually going or where it's coming from, great. But we'll see how that one goes. You can email, by the way, Connor at 1620 the zone on the Equitable Bank inbox. Ross emails in. Says, actually what's happening is there were NIL guidelines in place, but the NCAA was afraid of being sued, so they didn't enforce them. This is the first step in moving away from the NCAA into their own college football rules. The powers that be are telling the NCAA, act or we will. Oh, yeah. Well, you've seen this week, we got the Pac-12 and the, the Pac-12 and the ACC commissioner, Pac-12 and SEC commissioner, I can't remember, that were, it's like, hey, we're going to go up to Washington. We're going to talk with a couple people here, and we're going to see if we can get something on the books here introduced. Did you see, by the way, the statements that came out from like the conclusion of those meetings yesterday?
I did not.
It was the biggest nothing burger that, and look, there has been a lot of statements that have been pointless. Like hey, we need a statement from you. What's your, what do you got? Let's put something on the books here. Let's put something on the record. And it's usually like, yeah, we believe this and we hope to keep the conversation going. It was like somehow less than that yesterday. I'll try and find one of the quotes, but it was, I didn't get the sense that there was much ground gained from those meetings in Washington yesterday, but that was just for me.
I'm in favor of guardrails, but also like it's too late. Like you missed the boat. Like the NCAA has to know to some extent that they're not law. They're not the police.
Yeah, and to some extent, it's an overreaction to what has been kind of going on as well. I think over time it does kind of naturally sort itself out, but that doesn't mean there still doesn't need to be some guardrails in place. We get this from the Equitable Banking Box as well. This is from Zach, I believe. I don't see any way the NCAA will be able to go back and impose sanctions as retroactive punishment for breaking a rule that clearly wasn't stated at the point of the alleged infraction. That would be a ridiculous precedent for them to set and a slippery slope that would follow. Yeah. But
would love to watch them try.
We got the people on this committee, they are waving their hands up in the air. They're saying, we're going to come and get you if you're not doing things the right way. And
look how hard we're working.
It seems like a bit of an empty threat, at least at this point. That's the NIL corner. Oh, yeah. There was also a story out of Boston College about a kid who said that he gave up or that he had opportunities to go elsewhere. I'll read you a little bit of it here. Zay Flowers is his name. This is from ESPN's Pete Thamel. In 3 or 4 days prior to the May 1 portal deadline, he received multiple six-figure offers via intermediaries from his name, image, and likeness companies to enter the transfer portal and transfer. He said that he was told NIL companies would give him $600,000 to transfer to one school, and there was another deal that would give him $300,000 to go to a different school. Flowers had not entered the NCAA transfer portal, nor had he given any public indication that he intended to. Flowers, of course, declined to name the schools and said none of them contacted him directly, rather that the schools reached out to people close to me. He told his coach, Jeff Hafley, about the offers and ultimately decided to stay at Boston College. While I appreciate this, I guess, the idea, I do question it. I do question it a little bit. Also, it's a weird world that it's such a weird world that we're getting into, because I don't know that I want to totally go all in on, hey, pat on the back, great job for not taking the bribe from others. You know what I mean, Josh?
Yeah.
Like for as much as this is, I think, being portrayed as like a heartwarming story, I somewhat, like, my brain stops me from saying, wow, this is really great. Nice job, man.
He's one of us. He's super committed to us. Hold on. He saw something shady and decided not to do the shady thing.
Yeah.
Not because he didn't want to, but because it was shady.
He says, for a kid like me from a household of 14 with one parent, that's life-changing money. I talked to Coach Hafley, went through what was going on. I talked to my dad. My dad would love me to stay at Boston College, and I wanted to stay at Boston College. It was a decision I had to make, and the decision I made was to come back to school. So there you go.
Okay. Pat Forty just tweeted out
Uh-oh.
on NCAA compliance issues related to this exact story. The student athletes that were getting these alleged offers from collectives will probably be getting phone calls from enforcement to have a sit down.
Yeah.
This comes from a source within the NCAA compliance office. It continues, their eligibility would not be impacted, but they will be asked to spill the beans and would be mandated to cooperate. I don't know how they're mandated to cooperate.
Right. Couldn't he just say no?
Because again, I will reiterate,
if their eligibility is not in question, and the NCAA is like, tell us the answers.
Yeah.
And he just says no. And,
no, you're not real. This isn't real.
But you've already told me I have no eligibility risk here.
I can play. Wins and titles will not be vacated. I'm only here for another year. I don't care.
Amazing Daniel tweets in at Happer Show on the JTech Construction Zone Twitter feed. Says they have to define what counts as NIL before they could prove something is not NIL. And then the collectives will just find a way to meet those guidelines and we'll be right where we are, but they'll pretend they did something. It's pretty much the same as government. Exactly.
Yeah, I did think we'd see a lot more, like, for example, Subway commercials with a college quarterback in it. I'm not seeing a lot of ads that these
Right.
things are attached to.
Yeah, I it's still very unclear where the money is coming from.
Yes.
And when it's unclear where the money's come from, I mean, you ask yourselves, what are these collectives, like, how are they being funded? What a collective means a whole bunch of people are contributing to a fund, right?
Yeah.
Well, who?
I'm not seeing a
Boosters,
lot
it's boosters.
I'm not seeing a lot of hashtag ad on Twitter and Instagram from
Right.
these people.
And that's what NIL is. That's what NIL is for, and that was the original intent of it. Now, if a company wants to go out and spend a lot of money on that is their responsibility. I mean, maybe maybe I'm just this is obvious here, but maybe the quote unquote collectives aren't such a great idea. The businesses should be allowed to just approach the athletes on what they want to do and what they can and their fit. And the athletes have to make the decision of who they want to work with and what they want to do. That's in an NIL utopia, I suppose, but we are quite far away from that right now. All right, 402-951-1620. Want to hear from you guys on that. We got a couple more emails that we can get to. Connor at 1620thezone.com on the Equitable Bank inbox. Like I said, it's hard because I don't want to sit here and talk about NIL all the time, but there's just like a couple things every day, and then we'll see where it ends up on the entire spectrum here. So you can keep sending us your thoughts. Still planning to come on the show today. We'll get to your reaction and some more on the other side here on the Connor Happer Show, 1620 The Zone.
Zone, taste of our takes. Sharp and Benning in the morning.
Ted Ginn Jr. is along with Johnny Rogers, Mike Rozier. Johnny, slide in here. First, let's talk about the winner real quick, who unfortunately getting ready for the draft isn't able to be here. But tell us about Marcus Jones.
Well, Marcus got more moves than Allied Van Lines. I tell you, he's got 9 returns for touchdowns. I thought I was reading something off the chain there when I first noticed that, but he's remarkably good.
For more, tune in every day to 1620 AM or go to 1620thezone.com. Your Omaha area forecast from Canoyer Garden Center and KETV Newswatch 7 on 1620 The Zone.
We'll finally see some sunshine Friday with partly mostly cloudy skies. Watch out for some fog early on, mainly south and west of the metro. Comfortable and calm in the afternoon with highs in the mid to upper 60s. More sunshine, breezy, and warmer on Saturday with highs in the mid 70s. I'm meteorologist Sean Everson from KETV Newswatch 7.
Email Sharp and Betting on the Equitable Bank inbox with whatever is on your mind. The Zone inbox is brought to you by Equitable Bank. We take banking personally. You can get me at Gary at 1620thezone.com. We want to hear from you on the Equitable Bank Zone inbox.
Don't wait until the last minute to get what you'll need for your camping trip. At Leach Camper Sales, we have everything you'll need. And if we don't, we'll find it, guaranteed. Come see me, Big Bob, and the parts guys at Leach Camper Sales in Council Bluffs. And of course,
don't forget, coffee's always on.
Businesses all across eastern Nebraska and western Iowa have trusted Host Coffee for their coffee, water, and vending needs. Give your business the whole host of options. Host Coffee, serving you since 72.
Hi guys, it's Andrew with Brookside Medical Clinic. Is erectile dysfunction damaging your relationship? Are you sick of the pill and all the side effects? Well, welcome to the future. We have a major medical breakthrough. Brookside Medical Clinic uses the most advanced form of wave therapy. Backed by 60 clinical studies, our technology uses pressure waves to repair and open up blood vessels. We've helped countless men get rid of their ED. But what is the true end result? Their relationship, even their lives, improve drastically. If you're ready to regain your love life, call us right now, and not only will the assessment and ultrasound be free, we'll also give you a gift that produces immediate results in the bedroom. It almost never fails. This is worth $550, and it's free to callers right now. 402-671-7777. That's 402-671-7777. Put a stop to your erectile dysfunction and experience what I call the happiness ripple effect. Call Brookside Medical Clinic now, 402-671-7777.
You're the one everyone looks to for answers. Come rain or shine, the job must get done, and you're the one who makes it happen. We get you, Jackie in Fresno, putting your employee safety first. And Manny in Chattanooga, whose local Granger team knows him by name. We're here for you and all the ones who get it done, with 24/7 customer support and access to product specialists to help you find what you need. Call, click Granger.com, or just stop by. Granger, for the ones who get it done.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along, which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. It finds them for you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job in ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. That's ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter.com/radio.
Make sure your AC leaves you in the cold this summer by joining McCarthy's 1-hour heating and air conditioning's Comfort Club. For one low monthly fee, you get a twice yearly AC and furnace inspection, plus discounts on repairs, a 90-day breakdown fee guarantee, and you always go to the front of the line when things get busy. Plus, your fees will never increase for the life of the membership. The weather's getting hot. Stay cool with McCarthy's 1-hour heating and air conditioning. Always on time, or you don't pay a dime. McCarthy's1hour.com.
Paid for by Herbster for Nebraska.
Critical race theory. We don't want it in our schools.
So why did Jim Pillen support it over and over again?
Jim Pillen approved a whole new department at the University of Nebraska, focused on critical race theory.
The vice chancellor Pillen chose to run the department? He praised violent race riots on the University of Nebraska website. So how did Jim Pillen respond?
He voted to triple the diversity chancellor's budget. Your tax dollars used to teach CRT.
University courses, classes, and seminars on race, privilege, white fragility, and critical whiteness studies.
No matter what Jim Pillen says now, as a regent, he voted to support the teaching of critical race theory for years.
Jim Pillen didn't stand up to critical race theory before. Can we really trust him now?
Make the right call, fans. The Rooferees at John Higgins Weather Guard.
Rooferees.
Right back here on the Connor Happer Show, 1620 The Zone, 1620thezone.com. Bryan Munson will join us at the top of the hour. I can't guarantee you it'll be the last time we ask him about O'Shawn Mathis, but
well, we got to keep that streak going.
Yeah, I guess we have a reputation to uphold at this point. All right, couple emails in on the Equitable Bank Zone inboxes. I mean, Adam kind of lays it out pretty clearly, but basically there's, what was reported yesterday is what they're trying to eliminate is the boosters / collectives. Let's call boosters and collectives the same thing. We can incorporate it into the same word, collective. Right? They are attempting to get the part where the collectives have contact with the recruit before they actually sign to the school. But the problem is, I mean, that's an NCAA thing. The problem is, from the NIL standpoint, there's stuff in these state laws that kind of contradict that. So Nebraska is probably, or any school out there, they're under the impression that they can use this NIL as a part of their recruiting pitch. And obviously money's going to come up in that scenario. But if I understand it correctly, I mean, you know, I don't know how Nebraska does it. I don't know how they put them through the car wash and you know, where they kind of take them to as they're on the recruiting visit and the pitches that they have. But I don't know. There's an assumption that there was you know, discussion about money before that letter of intent was signed. So I don't know. Would Nebraska be one of the schools? Now, by the way, this is widespread over the last couple of months here. And maybe what'll end up happening is schools will end up saying, coaches will end up saying, programs will end up saying, hey, we got to have some standardization down the line with the rules. And in order to do that, everybody has got to be on the same page. That's from the NCAA level. That's from the state legislation level. That's why they're trying to get federal legislation passed in a scenario like this, but also from the school's perspective and what they can do and what they can't do. The doors, the floodgates, like I said, got opened. Like Ross from the Equitable Bank Inbox emailed into the show and is, hey, so how did it actually go with Masseth? I don't know. There were some schools that probably, and this is what Ross says, there were probably some schools that played by the rules because their NIL state laws prohibit this type of activity. Yeah. And they just didn't happen to contradict the rules that were already out there. You're following one rule, you're not following another rule. Hello, guys. We need some uniformity across the sport. It's been the biggest thing for a long time. And while you get that, and it might further drive the separator between the haves and the have-nots in college football, at least everybody would have a pretty good of understanding of what we can do and what we can't. And that feels like the most important thing above all right now. Everybody's got to have a really firm grasp on what they can do and what they can't. And right now, no, and this is not to excuse all this over the last couple months, but I just don't know that it's been very clear, obviously. It's the same thing basically that happened during COVID. Teams were trying to figure out what they could do, what they couldn't do, who they could contact in the recruiting world, when they could do it, and then their contact with their own players, when they could come back. A mess. Let's take a phone call here. We got Don on the line. Hey, Don, thanks for calling. What's going on?
What's up, bro?
How are you? Oh, is it Don Juan?
Of course it is, bro. How you do?
Good, man. Thanks for calling.
Yes, sir. Absolutely. Hey, man, but I think that the what is it, like the NCAA is trying to get into it now?
Yeah,
right. See, they had a chance in the beginning, bro.
They did.
But then they wanted to get sued, so then they said, well, we're just going to take a step back. Y'all do what y'all can do. And they start doing that. Now they want to come back in and start legislating, bro. I'm just like,
yeah.
You know?
Well, the problem is everybody needs them to. Like they need somebody to kind of step up in this situation because everybody's just looking for some guidance.
Right. Well, I mean, I think the guidance is just get the players and win some games, right?
Yeah. From the school standpoint, yeah. By any means necessary at this point.
Right. And then you were talking about like a collective, right? So that's like a group of people who like really just want to support the university and help them any way they can help, right?
Yeah, it's the new school form of boosters, basically, where instead of contributing money to the university and their endeavors and they spend it however they want to, they apply it to the acquisition of players.
Yeah. I just liked it when it was just football, man, basketball. It was just sports, bro. Now, the legislation, but I appreciate you, filling us in and keeping us up to speed on what they're trying to do with it.
I know it's changing every day, man. Like it is, there's literally a different thing every day. And I don't like talking about it as much because I'm with you. I just like football. Like that's why I'm here. But there's obviously a lot going on.
Right. And that's the thing though. If you don't really want to talk about it, but you know that, you learn stuff about it and you can help educate the audience, I think that's a win-win for everybody. You know what I mean?
That's what I'm trying to do, man.
Keep doing your thing, bro.
Thanks, Don Juan.
Of course, bro. Peace.
First time into the Connor Happer show for Don Juan, the legendary.
How you feeling about that?
Very good.
Good? Okay.
Very good. Keep doing your thing. Like that. There is a certain amount of, you feel almost overwhelmed by the entire thing because like you said, we're just football fans. We just care about football. And yeah, we care about the stuff that's going on and what might lead a school to have some sort of an edge over another school. But I understand the hesitancy to kind of dive headfirst into this whole thing because it's not fun to talk about. That's by the way, that is a microcosm of the entire sport right now. Everything's coming in from different directions. People are pushing and pulling. And now, there's so few, I guess in this specific situation, there's so little guidance, so few rules on what the teams can actually do that everybody's trying to kind of push and pull and tweak a rule and get a new rule introduced in the way that they kind of want to see it be done that benefits them. The point of having a rule that lords over the entire sport is, it's going to be good for some people. It's going to be bad for some people. Guess what? Everybody's got to get used to it. And the fact that we don't have that in the sport right now is the biggest thing that's going on. That is the biggest issue. All right. So we can jump off that on the extended NIL corner. We'll have a best thing I saw in baseball last night. Is it time to call the New York Mets fun or good? And then on the other side of town, we had Yankees players attempting to chug beers in what seemed to be a staged situation. We will dissect every inch of Aaron Judge and DJ LeMahieu and Anthony Rizzo attempting to drink beer at a New York Rangers hockey game last night. We come back, but don't forget, win $5,000 to give your garage a spring makeover or a $2,500 gift card from our friends at Langfeld Overhead Doors. You can get all the details and enter to win 1620thezone.com from our good friends at Langfeld Overhead Doors and us at 1620 The Zone.
The best way to catch all the action is on 1620 The Zone. And no line for the bathroom.
Searching for a new to you car, truck, or SUV? Shop Woodhouse first. Over 1,000 pre-owned vehicles, all makes, all models, in stock and on the lot. Plus, confidence comes standard when you purchase a pre-owned car, truck, or SUV from Woodhouse. With our multi-point inspection, transparent pricing, available add-on warranties, and financing options, purchasing a pre-owned vehicle has never been simpler. Experience the difference and drive away confident and road-ready in your new vehicle from Woodhouse.
I'm talking with Sean McGuire from Celebrity Homes about searching for a home in today's real estate market.
With fewer houses on the market and more folks wanting to take advantage of incredible interest rates, finding that next home has certainly become quite the challenge. But what many of our home buyers have discovered is that it doesn't have to be.
What does Celebrity Homes offer today's home buyer?
Besides being the area's only, yes, it's all included home builder, we always have homes available at different stages of construction to allow home buyers to move in a little sooner.
That really is a great option for people searching for their next home.
Well, it gets even better. If you're willing to wait a little longer, you don't need to settle. Let's build. You choose a community, your home site, your home design, your interior features, your custom selections, heck, even your own exterior colors.
Sounds like buying a new Celebrity home is a great decision. You can visit models open Wednesday through Sunday or call for an appointment anytime. Learn more at celebrityhomesomaha.com. Thanks, Sean. Pandemic-impacted homeowners may be at risk of losing their homes, which is why the state of Nebraska is providing relief through the Homeowner Assistance Fund. Qualified homeowners can receive up to $30,000 in assistance for past due mortgage payments, past due real estate taxes, HOA dues, and homeowners or flood insurance. Funds will be distributed until they run out, and they do not need to be paid back. View qualifications and apply today at nebraskahaf.com. That's nebraskahaf.com.
Everyone, Josh Peterson here for my friends at Miracle Hill Golf and Tennis. It is a great time for you to get your golf game back in shape with their director of instruction, Mike Favre. Give him a call at 402-498-0220. Whether it is individual lessons, whether it is group lessons, whether you are a single handicap or have never played golf before, he can help improve the game of golf for you, and thus you will enjoy those rounds when you get out and play. They're located just north of the Dodge on 120th Street, Miracle Hill Golf and Tennis.
A tradition of winning doesn't happen overnight. Like any team, you got to be tough, play smart, and work hard. No one understands this more than Ford Motor Company. They built the best team in the game with Ford F-Series, America's best-selling trucks 45 years straight, the iconic Ford Bronco, and the most powerful Ford Explorer ever. Shop online at buyfordnow.com or visit your local Ford dealer to buy or custom build the perfect truck or SUV for you. Based on 1977 to 2021 calendar year total sales.
Since this is a radio commercial, you can't see the people standing behind me. They're the Langfeld family. Everybody wave. Oh, sorry, you can't see them because radio. Anyway, the Langfelds are the family behind Langfeld Overhead Door, where they proudly install Midland garage doors to fit any space and style, and they don't take a backseat to anyone when it comes to their service. Because if something goes wrong, it's their name on the line. So they're going to make sure it goes right every single time. Langfeld Overhead Door, 402-234-2700.
Mark your calendars for Saturday, May 14th at 6:30 and get your free tickets today for the annual Creighton Baseball Salute to our military community and First Responders Night presented by Hy-Vee. Spend a night at the ballpark celebrating the heroes in our Omaha community. Planned events include pregame static displays, paratroopers, joint color guard, enlistment ceremony, postgame taps, and a fireworks show presented by Bellino Fireworks. Tickets are available today free of charge by visiting GoCreighton/salute.
Let's get back to the Connor Happer Show on 1620 The Zone.
Seven runs in the ninth for the Mets last night to win 8-7.
Okay, that's pretty amazing.
Josh,
Braves fan, got to give credit where credit's due.
I'm sorry, but it may be time to admit the Mets are going to be a problem.
Oh no, it's May 6th. Thought they were going to be a problem last August, July, if I'm not mistaken, and it did not come to be. So plenty of time for the Mets to still blow this, but as of right now, they look pretty darn good.
Oh, speaking of choke job.
This could go anywhere.
Did you watch Jeopardy yesterday?
Oh my goodness!
So we gotta.
I could go a long time on this, so please go.
I was losing it. So we had we have a 22-day. Now this is like real old man corner. I don't know who else is watching Jeopardy out there who's like my age. I don't know. I really enjoy Jeopardy
every day. I tape it.
Okay, you tape it. You want so I
DVR. I don't physically throw something in the VCR, but yeah.
If I don't watch it live, I miss it.
Okay.
I'll skip it. I'm not that committed to it. So we have a 22-day in a row champion going into yesterday.
Yeah, we sure do.
Her name is Matea. She's doing a really good job. She's kind of like quirky.
She's Canadian.
Yeah. She makes jokes and comments off to the side a lot. I think people like her.
I don't. I hate her, actually.
Wow.
Super chatty. I don't need your commentary. answer the question.
Well, here's what she does. She goes, so when they ask the question and she gets it wrong, she buzzes in, gets it wrong. She goes, no.
Oh, no.
Yeah, I don't love that. But
she always picks the sports questions first just to get them out of the way.
She's getting killed yesterday.
Yeah.
She's getting killed.
Almost mathematically eliminated before Final Jeopardy.
Almost. She's almost getting doubled up, but not quite. So there's a little window of opportunity, and she got the question right. The other person got the question wrong. They also bet too much money. Huge choke job. And it allowed. Now, I have a bit of a conspiracy theory with Jeopardy right now. There has been.
Lay it on me.
We have gone basically 3 months in a row now with one person winning.
The third, what they dub super champion, would be a 10-game or more winning streak.
I think they're putting garbage contestants in to get the people to play more.
Well, there's a little analytics to that there's still some pandemic carryover, and
so they're searching.
There was like a 2-year period where the only contestants they could take were from the state of California because the COVID laws were so restrictive. So that's not the case now, but there's still that sort of, well, were people applying to the show during the pandemic? So now they're kind of just taking what they can get right now. There is some debate on the boards, if you will.
Oh, are you on the Jeopardy message boards?
Oh, yeah, always on the Jeopardy boards.
But
that guy doesn't know a lot about Husker football, but man, he knows a lot about Jeopardy.
He's on the Jeopardy boards. I mean, but yeah, there has been some runaway games. Like, it doesn't feel like this is like Jeopardy sports radio. I mean, Jeopardy radio. It makes what Ken Jennings did really impressive.
Oh yeah, 74.
And he had competition.
Yeah. Matea does this thing with her hands all the time. She talks with her hands a lot, but her hands are not like normal people hands. Like, she kind of brings her hands together. The Twitter calls them flippers. I will not do that here. That's disrespectful. But some people are saying her hands look like flippers. And she talks with her hands, and there's so much commentary on every question. She's gotten into this habit of writing like a comment after her Final Jeopardy answer. Like yesterday she wrote,
"If this is it, I love you."
Yeah, what is Citizen Kane? And then parentheses,
if this is it, it's been fun.
Yeah. And she's done that like 2 or 3 days in a row now. And it's like, okay, just calm down. This isn't your show. It's
the Jeopardy old heads are out.
First long-running champion in a long time that I have not enjoyed watching. I root for her failure every day.
Any more stray Jeopardy takes you got floating out there?
It's
time to get them out.
Ken Jennings should be the host of this show.
Yeah, he's good at it.
Let's, like, Mayim Bialik, she's like an actual like rocket scientist or something like that. She's great. Ken Jennings is the host of this show.
I agree.
There should be no debate.
He knows it. He gets it. He's quick.
He's got the right personality for it.
Yeah.
Mayim sometimes gets a little chatty herself. I don't need that.
Okay.
I think that's
emptied the well on the.
I think so.
Games? Okay.
I reserve the right to come back to it, though.
Yeah. Let me know if you have anything. Maybe it could be a top 5 list or something at some point. So last night, the 3 of the Yankees showed up to the New York Rangers game. And they were on the Rangers Penguins game, and they were on a local broadcast. And it appeared so the cameras start showing up in front of them. They all got Rangers sweaters on. They're prepared to be. This is pre-concocted, right?
The whole chugging contest.
They're each holding beers.
Okay. I have not seen this video yet.
They're each holding beers. Like, it looks like they knew that it was coming.
Okay. Hey, remember when Aaron Rodgers did that? It was real fun. Let's do that again.
So much so that when they started chugging, each of their beers, I mean, Rizzo, so it's Rizzo, Judge, and DJ LeMahieu. Rizzo is a half full beer. Judge is a little less, and DJ LeMahieu is less than a quarter.
Oh, no, they need to be full beers.
I think they set this up, and then they all cheersed, they drank them. It did not happen very fast.
I'm watching. Rizzo looked game for this.
Rizzo has my respect in this.
Rizzo
situation.
understood the assignment. No one else did.
Judge has gone way too New York. DJ LeMahieu, all he had to do was take a sip of his beer, and it was gone.
LeMahieu looks like a wine drinker.
But this is just not a beer chugging. Like you're in Madison Square Garden, right? Like you are Yankees players. The Judge has got the big watch on, and not that you can't dress nicely, but you think of David Bakhtiari and Aaron Rodgers doing it. Like they get on camera, and it seemed like they didn't know they were going to be on camera. Oh, but I have a full beer, and guess what? I'm going to throw this thing back, and if it goes all over my chest, then that's what's going to happen. And guess what? After I chug the beer, I'm going to throw the cup away, maybe stomp on it or something like that. This is the attitude that you're trying to convey in a, it's an important hockey game. You're down in the series. You need the game.
You're also, the Yankees are playing well. So it's like,
it just doesn't,
you're poised to become a celebrity.
It doesn't do much for me if you're just sitting there sipping on a beer, which is what the Yankees ended up basically doing last night.
Now,
but it was a very Yankees thing, right?
To do it, to chug beer poorly.
Those guys clearly don't play for the Green Bay Packers. If you play for the Green Bay Packers and you're showed with a beer in your hand, you got to slam that thing and do it aggressively. This is not aggressive. This is the most mild-mannered beer chugging I have ever seen.
Aaron Judge, those SoCal roots are they're showing, because he looks like a man who has never chugged a beer in his life. The way he drank this beer at the hockey game.
Rizzo's from Florida. I don't know where DJ LeMahieu's from. Probably Louisiana, I guess.
Like Aaron Judge is trying to do this in little gulps, like
I know.
It's my Aaron Judge impression.
It's pretty good.
LeMahieu looks like he'd just get this camera out of my face. Like he looks like he wants to get back to the hockey game, and they just won't let him.
DJ LeMahieu was born in California.
Okay.
Oh, but his family moved to Madison, Wisconsin while he was in middle school, and then to Michigan. So he's got some Midwest.
He's chugged a beer before.
He only had a sip.
Couldn't wait for MSG to come back from commercial break. He had chugged it during the break.
Back to Jeopardy. We get this tweet from Michael on the JTech Instructions on Twitter feed. The hands.
Oh, they're everywhere.
There'll be a skit on SNL Saturday. So annoying. Is there enough of a crossover of an audience between Jeopardy and SNL where SNL could do a skit about it? Because they should if there is, but I'm just not sure if there is.
I would imagine there is quite a good segment of audience crossover between those two shows, but I don't think Matea
She's not there yet.
She hasn't captured the hearts of the nation
So maybe,
to warrant an SNL parody.
She's around for another week or two. It's a skit.
Yeah. She gets to 30, 35. Let's talk.
We'll be joined by Bryan Munson here in just a second. One more baseball thing while we're at it. This is going to double as the best thing I saw in baseball. All three of these stories combined. So the Mets are good. The Yankees are good also, but they're bad at chugging beer. And the Reds update. The Cincinnati Reds are now 3-22.
And 14 and a half games back.
Already 14 and a half games out of first place. It is May 6th. Not a good place to be. But if there was ever a time to be 14 and a half games back, I suppose it would be now rather than in August or September.
Two of those three wins against the Atlanta Braves in their first series of the year.
Here's the issue, and Jeff Passan tweeted this out yesterday. I kind of forgot that this existed. So not only are the Reds 3-22, but this is the first year of the MLB draft lottery. So next year when they go to draft based off of this season, they are not guaranteed. Now, who knows if they'll finish dead last? Maybe they could turn it on for a couple weeks and all of a sudden we forget about their 3-22 start. But the way it's looking right now, they're like the, they're like the 60. I think Jason Stark wrote a whole bad teams column about it today. Basically, it's like the 64 Mets and the I can't remember who else it was. The Spiders, like the Cleveland Spiders or something like that. Choo-Choo Coleman's 64 Mets.
Choo-Choo Coleman.
Won 7 of their first 25 games on their way to 40 and 120. And Harry Cauliflower's 1899 Spiders won 5 of their first 25 on their way to a 20 and 134 record. Now,
I would wear a Harry Cauliflower shirt.
Now the Reds will be winning more than 20 games this year. I'm willing to stake my reputation to that.
Okay.
The Reds will win more than 20 games. So they will not be historically worse than the 1899 Spiders. However, they go in that company. In modern baseball history, only Jeff Stone's fabled 1988 Orioles, 2-23 after an 0-21 start, and Dimitri Young's 2003 Tigers starting at 3-22 have a record this grim through 25 games. But no National League team has gotten off to a start this bad since Piggy Ward's 1894 Washington Senators. And by the way, they started 2-2.
They did.
So they're 1-20 since April 12th. They've still not won 2 games in a row this season.
They've only won 1 home game.
They're 14.5 games out of first place. Their starting rotation has an ERA that is about 9 at the moment.
Their run differential is -87.
-87.
That is worse than the Bigs, obviously. The second worst run differential in Major League Baseball right now. Sorry, Connor. It's the Kansas City Royals at -39.
That's not surprising. They've gotten blown out in a couple games.
So it's not even close. They are 5 games worse than any other team in Major League Baseball right now.
Okay, here's a bit on the run differential from Stark. Back in the glory days, which Pete Rose liked to call 1967-81, the Reds had a positive run differential 15 seasons in a row. It's tough to like their chances of achieving positivity this year because they just missed setting the modern record for worst differential through any team's first 25 games. Here's the company they're in. The 2010 Pirates were -89 through 25 games. The 1936 Browns were -87, so right on pace there. And then your 2022 Cincinnati Reds, -87 through 25 games. Not good, but we'll check in on the Reds often because I enjoy baseball futility almost much. Anytime you could break a record in baseball or be threatening some sort of record in baseball, it's pretty special because there's been so many games over such a long period of time. This amount of ineptitude is really intriguing to me.
The data is staggering, and it all stems from the owner making fun of Reds fans.
That's right. What are you gonna do? Not show up?
Oh, ESPN does give attendance. Let me see if I can pull this up super quick here.
I'm sure people are going.
9,000 against San Diego on the 27th. That's the only time they've dipped below 10,000 in attendance all year. So yeah, they are still showing up to Reds games. Now they host the Pirates for a 4-game set this weekend. We'll see.
If they get swept again, it's really funny. All right, there's your Cincinnati Reds update and the best thing and worst thing that we saw in baseball last night. Bryan Munson of Husker Online will join us next. We'll put a bow on the O'Shawn Mathis situation. Now we get to think about O'Shawn as a player instead of dealing with his or thinking about his recruitment. And not to be outdone, the Devin Drew situation. And then what's up next for Nebraska in recruiting? Bryan Munson tells us the answers next on 1620 The Zone.
The Connor Happer Show. Follow us on Twitter @Happer Show for all the latest news and views. We may even say something interesting once in a while.
Unlikely.
Really, guys? Live from the Host Coffee Studio, this is 1620 The Zone.
Searching for your next vehicle? Shop Woodhouse first. Over 1,000 pre-owned vehicles in stock and on our lots, with new trades arriving daily that you can explore on woodhouse.com. Plus, confidence comes standard when you purchase a pre-owned car, truck, or SUV from Woodhouse. With our multi-point inspection, transparent pricing, available add-on warranties, and financing options, purchasing a pre-owned vehicle has never been simpler. Experience the difference and drive away today confident and road-ready in your new vehicle from Woodhouse.
Hey guys, spring is here and the honeydew list has begun. If you're getting ready to clean up your yard, Lanahaw is your one-stop for all landscape needs. Buy your mulch at Lanahaw Nurseries. Best quality at the best price. Convenient delivery or pickup. Lanahaw Nurseries, 192nd and Center.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along, which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ziprecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate through the site within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free. Just go to this exclusive web address, ziprecruiter.com/free. That's ziprecruiter.com/free. ziprecruiter.com/free.
May is Maytag month, the hardest working month of the year, when you can save on hard-working Maytag performance. Like laundry pairs that make clothes think twice before getting dirty again. Refrigerators that make cold your new favorite flavor. And dishwashers that eat caked on oatmeal for breakfast.
Don't wait. Put the hardest working month of the year to work for you and save big on Maytag appliances now through June 1st. Because May is Maytag month.
I first got to know Charles when he was one of my earliest supporters and made him the chair of my agriculture advisory committee. You have the chance to elect a die-hard MAGA champion as your governor, Charles W. Herbster.
I promise you, as the governor, I will make Nebraska great again.
Charles W. Herbster, a good man. Get everyone you know and vote for Charles W. Herbster.
Paid for by Herbster for Nebraska. Paid for by Herbster for Nebraska.
As America finally moves towards ending abortion, Charles W. Herbster knows governors must take the next step. Just like President Donald J. Trump delivered on his promises, Charles W. Herbster will protect the unborn.
We will protect innocent life, and we will proudly uphold the Judeo-Christian values of our nation's founding.
Endorsed by President Trump, trusted to fight for pro-life conservative values, Charles W. Herbster, Governor.
Does eating at home have you singing the blues? Stop by Cops, 72nd and Jones, or the Shadow Lake Town Center to grab a delicious pizza, fresh salad, and some tasty charred wings. Cops Shadow Lake Town Center just added 30 new menu items, including salmon, certified Angus beef fillets, ribeyes and sirloins, several pasta dishes, and an extensive variety of shareable appetizers. Dine in, carry out, or delivery. Cops, 72nd and Jones, and the Shadow Lake Town Center. Click copspizza.com to see the extensive new Shadow Lake menu.
Hey, it's Nick. Join Unsportsmanlike Conduct on the road today at Warner Park ahead of the Omaha Storm Chasers as they host the Columbus Clippers. They're back in action with an exciting team full of future Major League stars. Join us today at Warner Park on 1620 The Zone.
Your first house. It looks a little different for everyone. For some, it's a place to gather. For others, a place to rest. And for others, it's a place that was a place to rest or gather until they built a stadium 2 blocks away, and now all you hear is a roaring crowd or someone asking if you're ready to rock. No, you are not ready to rock. But no matter where you call home, Geico makes it easy to bundle and save on home and car insurance. Easier than trying to drown out 40,000 people by speaking really loudly.
Shop Woodhouse Place Hyundai and Nissan, 144th and Giles. KOZN, Bellevue, Omaha, Council Bluffs.
All right, welcome back. More of the Connor Happer Show. You're on 1620 The Zone and 1620thezone.com. Let's talk some recruiting. Bryan Munson, Husker Online, who joins us now. Hello, Bryan. How are you?
Hey, I'm doing good. Recruit. They're all out there on the road again today, it looks like.
Yes, hitting the road again, which is good. But hey, no visitors this weekend. Is that right?
No visitors this weekend. I think it just, it interferes so much with the Mother's Day holiday. And I know that they're gearing up again, kind of looking at official visitors. They'll have official visitors next weekend. They got some portal transfers in town. And then we should start seeing some high school guys, I think, start coming in the month of June. So I think we're getting to that point right now where, we're still seeing some, surprisingly, I said this in Tunnel Talk this morning, Nebraska is at 260 offers or was for the 2023 class as of like Sunday, like when I went through and kind of did a little bit of bookkeeping on that.
Yeah.
At least from our records. And I think I'm at a dozen that they added this week. So it's really pretty interesting to see how this picture is kind of coming together for the 2023 class. I mean, you still have a fairly, I say large number. I say a large number of portal transfers still that are kind of in this equation here for the next month or two that Nebraska is still trying to kind of get, figure out if they can be a player for, or if they're the right fit. And then there's the 85 that you're currently kind of still playing with and figuring out how that's going to kind of work. And you have up until August to kind of make all that kind of come together. And then you've got this other lane of how you're going to manage the rest of your recruiting class, where you've got maybe 10, possibly as many as 12 guys still to add to the 2023 group. And you've got 260 or 70 plus offers now out to these players, and you've had so many guys that have come in up to this point already as well. I want to say it's really kind of a one of those things. It's like, careful what you wish for, because I think recruiting is wide open again. It's just now all of a sudden the picture is not as easy to kind of figure out by looking at all the activity that's kind of going on at the moment.
Yeah. Do you think as time goes on that there won't be as many Nebraska offers floating out there?
I think that they have to bring it in some.
No.
And I think that Nebraska has, it's a challenge. The challenge is being Nebraska. You definitely want to start nailing down the border, and you want to get the neighboring states, and then you want to work out to the 500 mile, and then you want to work out then through the Big Ten footprint, and then you want to kind of then have a role in Texas, Louisiana, Alabama, where they were at a lot yesterday, Georgia, Florida, and even to California and some other areas out there. But I think what there's almost like this law of diminishing returns almost that you get from saturating the market with Nebraska offers, and I don't know exactly where Nebraska is kind of bumping up against it. I think it's one of those things, right? You want to keep the value of your offer high, and you want to make it to where a recruit's going to feel special about every D1 offer, but I think you want to also keep a special added value there, obviously, for a Nebraska offer, as opposed to just any D1 offer. And I think you bump up against it at a certain threshold. And I'm just not sure exactly where that's at, but I think you can get to there, and then it all just becomes kind of noise. I think Nebraska has to kind of start reeling this in slowly but surely every single year. Although I do understand the need to kind of recruit nationally and what that does to ultimately drive up the quantity of offers you have to extend in the first place.
Well, yeah, we've talked about that part of it. So you would assume if the geographical scope is reined in a little bit, which they're always going to take some, take chances on guys that they have, a connection to or relationship with, and that's normal for anybody. But generally speaking, you bring in the geographical net, so to speak, you probably see those offers come down.
I agree completely. And I think to your point as well, like look at Mons last year. Mons is a great example. A guy that you had a connection with back through his uncle that played for Nebraska. There's a high number of guys, legacy guys, Boodle, a guy that's got some ties back to Nebraska, but obviously he's deserving of a D1 offer in itself. I think that you're going to continue to find those guys that are in pockets of, this guy is related to so-and-so, or he's got ties back to Nebraska in certain sorts of ways. But I think to your point, if you're really trying to build the brand doesn't get stronger by carpet bombing. You've got to get stronger when you get focused. And then when you get focused and you feel like you've got things locked down to where it's operating within a certain, margin of error. Like you say, you're going to have 90% efficiency with your offers, in a certain amount of space, what in-state out to neighboring states, and then have a certain percentage then you want to kind of bring home then into that next 500-mile radius or whatever the kind of regions and how they kind of, work their way out. You should then, the number should automatically decrease, because if you're being more effective within that space that's closer to the state of Nebraska, and you really say, this is our plan. Our plan is to do this, and then we should have a percentage roughly that's between here and here that we feel like we should get from these states, and then we should have then the rest of the class should be made up of Texas, Louisiana, Georgia, Florida, and then opening back up again to the other, after that. And there should be kind of like, I think, 3 or 4 different categories that you're kind of looking to kind of get your class out of, because of you want the brand to be stronger in that kind of Midlands region, and then you still want it to be completely and totally relevant in the Sun Belt states. And then I think that also you do have relevance into New Jersey. That isn't necessarily a neighboring state, but it's Big Ten footprint. And I think Nebraska's has gotten some guys out of there recently. And I think that you're still also then trying to work your way out and continue to expand the brand. But I think there's two lanes there. You want to go ahead and protect and maintain, and you want to grow. And I think that ultimately, as you do that, though, more geographically, it's tighter to the state. The number of offers that you need to extend, I think, effectively then would decrease.
Well, another thing that would probably, it's going to affect the number over time as well, is the activity in the transfer portal. You can only take so many guys, and Nebraska's roster is full of them right now, and especially on the older side. Do you think it'll be, and not even because they were heavy-handed on it, and they'll continue to be heavy-handed on it this offseason because of the circumstances they're in. But do you think over time, like how will Nebraska approach the transfer portal as far as the amount of guys that they want to take, or how much of their roster at one point do you think they want to have made up of guys that came from elsewhere?
Yeah. So the question is kind of then, going to the grocery store and preparing a meal versus going to the restaurant. And I think that ultimately you want to get back towards being a little bit more organic and that you're building your program from within with more of the high school players.
I agree.
But I think what we're seeing and what we've talked about before is that, the portal transfer isn't really a one-way street anymore. It's a two-way street, and a lot more power now rests within, basically the team, the players, desires or decision, to go ahead and leave a program. So now the coaches have a need to kind of maintain, recruit their roster as much as anything, as much as trying to get the next guy in there to challenge the guys that are currently in the room. So I think that's where that portal transfer kind of that quick fix thing kind of happens. And I think also there's kind of this interesting, there's an interesting dynamic I feel like Nebraska is bouncing up against finally in the portal that I don't think we've seen before. I don't know if Nebraska saw, and I think that there's been more defensive linemen that have kind of trickled out. But when we saw the offer that went out to, name's escaping me, I think it's King Williams, but the defensive back that came out of Alabama.
Yeah.
That's going to be coming in here, obviously, for an official visit here in a week or two. King Williams, yes. that's not really a position that I think that you and I would have said, "Oh, that's a big need position." You know, you're looking at this. There's a hole to fill there. In fact, Nebraska brought in quite a number of players to kind of help out back there in the secondary. I know that they had some injuries and they didn't get a chance to look at a lot of those guys, but it didn't really kind of make as much sense. But I think what Nebraska may have been realizing, and I think maybe, you know, Stephon Wynn coming into the transfer portal, maybe, you know, ease some of those tensions or maybe made Nebraska feel a little bit better about things. But I don't think Nebraska saw as many players jump into the portal as maybe what they thought they were going to see from other schools, because I think that there was a fairly significant lift or a need to bring in those players to the defensive line. And that when those players weren't there, it was almost like an NFL draft type of moment. You went back and started looking at value. And with King Williams, there was a value there. There was a thing to say, hey, you know what? If we don't see these kind of guys continue to kind of go to the portal where we think that we've got a chance of getting those guys in, we may want to look at a couple of these other spots. You know, and like I said, defensive back probably wouldn't have been necessarily on my radar. Maybe a one-for-one guy at tight end might have been. And obviously offensive lineman.
Yeah, another offensive lineman. Yeah.
Something else that people have talked about as well. But yeah, defensive back, I think that really came down to a value type of scenario right there for Nebraska.
Yeah, that's interesting. So they're gonna bring him, and then another defensive lineman. I want to go back to, you know, we've talked plenty about Mathis, obviously, but Devin Drew maybe gets overlooked a bit and lost in the kind of Mathis conversation. Is he possibly more vital to what they're trying to do on the defensive line, where Mathis is, you know, he's a potential difference maker? Drew seems really important from the sense of, number one, they just needed more bodies, but also, I mean, you're going to get I think a starter there and a guy who's going to be playing probably 3 downs.
Yeah, absolutely. I think the part that people lose here, and I think even the Texas Tech fans lost it a little bit too when I was doing my message board musings earlier this week, because they were like, Devin who? Like, they didn't even realize who this guy was, and he only played 900 snaps, you know, over the past 2 years and not missed a single game. Well, Nebraska's looking for that type of consistency. And Nebraska's had a hard time keeping guys healthy, and this guy, you have a hard time keeping him off the football field. And I think there's quite a difference there, I think, in the approach or the makeup. And obviously, if Devin was looking for a way to maybe get a little bit closer to home and play closer to home and get back to Nebraska, an area that he's kind of, you know, familiar with and has visited once before, obviously this is a great, tremendous opportunity for him, because I think to your point, I think Nebraska they're toying with at least a little bit more the idea of running a little bit more of the 4-3 defensive tackle, which Drew is a tremendous fit for. And I think he has that ability to, he's so good. Like when I watched the film of him at Texas Tech, he is so good against the run. He is stout and he works. He's able to kind of run the hill line as a bigger guy out of a 3 technique. And that's what you're really looking for, is some lateral mobility. And a guy that's not going to just stand there and be a factor in basically that radius of their gap, but a guy that can play up and down the offensive line or on the other side of the football. So that's pretty critical when you get a guy that wants to run the hill line, come off of his block, pursue the ball carrier, and get after the quarterback even too on those passing downs, because he can do that. But I think it's really how stout he is against the run is what I really liked about him. But I love, and I think what Nebraska has to love too, is his consistency and him not wanting to miss any snaps, because he's played a bunch of them. And I think that's something that really spoke to Nebraska.
When you kind of take account for, I guess what I've been calling it this week is kind of the net and how they've netted on this situation. They lost a couple guys with the transfer portal, obviously one and Rogers, who they probably weren't expecting to lose. But then you get a replacement, you know, kind of a 1-for-1 replacement on the defensive line. You add Mathis as well. But that, not just the defensive line, across the board, Munson, do you think that they accomplished what they needed to accomplish in the portal season over the last couple months here?
I think that they have. I think that they've done a really, really good job. Did they miss out on a true nose tackle? Yeah. Did they maybe not get one of those offensive tackles that they targeted earlier on in January? Probably so. But I think overall, I think that a lot of times those portal guys don't just enter there and they're completely open to everybody approaching them about going there because they've got offers to give to them. I think that a lot of those guys get out and they jump out for specific reasons. I think NIL is obviously going to play a small role in that, but a lot of those guys is because they've lost a connection to a coach. They want to get back closer to home. They're looking for a better opportunity someplace else. Hey, my girlfriend just transferred out too. I need to go back and check something else out someplace else. There's any number of factors, I think, that kind of drive that decision. But I think that obviously then that kind of then gets them down to, well, if I could get some, a look from, these types of teams and this type of conference and this type of area, I can kind of then, knock out, what I'm kind of looking for when it comes to this move, when it comes to leaving this current place. But I think Nebraska, I go back to somebody had asked the question, was the Mathis, commitment a lot easier than what people, basically thought it was going to be? And the quick answer to that question is no. You got a guy that grew up 15 miles away from Austin, Texas.
Yeah.
And you just got him away from Austin to go to Nebraska.
Right.
I think Nebraska's done a tremendous job when it comes to recruiting the portal players.
Yeah. All right, Munson. Good stuff as always. Good to chat, and we'll talk next week.
Happy Mother's Day to all the moms out there. Have a great weekend.
There you go, Bryan Munson of Husker Online, friend of the moms. Good stuff from him. They'll continue to kind of put the roster together. We may talk about this with BC here coming up in a couple minutes too, but they'll continue to add. There's a couple guys on the radar still. And I just think back to where my head was at during spring ball, particularly on the defensive end. And then after you lose Rodgers in the portal, I kind of went in. If you were listening, I went into full on panic mode as far as the defensive line is concerned. They've added pieces back now. They got bodies in the room, and I don't think it's hard to see a path for the defense being relatively productive. I'm worried about them in the run game still a little bit. I think they should be okay on the back end. Those linebackers have been pretty good too. And now there's obviously still questions, but I kind of expect the defense to take a step back, and they probably will with all the experience that they lost from a year ago. But you can now, the important part of this that I want to mention is you can now kind of not rebuild. That's a strong word, but really significantly change the look of one of your units or both of your units, really your entire team. And you could do that after spring ball. And then I got to thinking about spring ball and the importance in which, the urgency that Nebraska seemed to have there. It did seem to be relatively high. And there's a reason for that. I think it's because they knew that, hey, this is going to look a little bit different in the fall. Now, it doesn't mean you shouldn't take it seriously, but we get into this mode around here. Schaefer's talked about this a couple times over the last couple of days on the zone here, but you get to thinking about spring ball and the seriousness in which we approach it, and maybe we just need to take it with a larger grain of salt than what we usually do, because they can, you can always add, and there's another wave. There'll be grad transfers that'll be going in the portal now once they graduate, which is coming up this weekend, or, maybe you got your mind made up, and those guys can leave kind of at any time. The May 1 date doesn't apply to them because they have their degrees. So there's still another wave here. Nebraska can add some experience if they choose to do so, and they're still on the hunt for a couple other guys as well. All right, Bryan Christopherson of Husker 24/7. We'll jump further into that defense, and where things are headed with that, and then I'll look at the roster with all the transfers, the way that they build their roster going forward. developmental program. That's a word that'll come up. We'll get into it with BC next here on 1620 The Zone.
Previously on Unsportsmanlike Conduct.
Pay for play is not going to end NIL.
No, it is not.
The NIL is still going to be out there. It's just going to be more money on top of money. That's all it's going to be.
In my opinion, if there was true pay for play and the salaries were commensurate with what the players actually do, I think name, image, likeness would then just turn into normal endorsements like we see in the pro.
Unsportsmanlike Conduct with John Bishop and Josh Peterson. Weekdays 2 to 6 on 1620 The Zone. Your Omaha area forecast from Canoyer Garden Center and KETV Newswatch 7 on 1620 The Zone.
We'll finally see some sunshine Friday with partly mostly cloudy skies. Watch out for some fog early on, mainly south and west of the metro. Comfortable and calm in the afternoon with highs in the mid to upper 60s. More sunshine, breezy, and warmer on Saturday with highs in the mid 70s. I'm meteorologist Sean Everson from KETV Newswatch 7.
More with Connor and Josh after this.
We're going to have an extensive professional relationship, my man.
On 1620 The Zone.
Email any of our shows anytime into the Equitable Bank inbox. At Equitable, we take banking personally. For me, John at 1620thezone.com. The Equitable Bank inbox from 1620 The Zone.
Searching for a new to you car, truck, or SUV? Shop Woodhouse first. Over 1,000 pre-owned vehicles, all makes, all models, in stock and on the lot. Plus, confidence comes standard when you purchase a pre-owned car, truck, or SUV from Woodhouse. With our multi-point inspection, transparent pricing, available add-on warranties, and financing options, purchasing a pre-owned vehicle has never been simpler. Experience the difference and drive away confident and road-ready in your new vehicle from Woodhouse.
At Dingman's, our first priority is protecting your safety. We are here to be your personal advocate to ensure you receive safe, proper repairs by the highest skilled technicians in the industry. Stop in to experience the Dingman difference today. At Dingman's, we would rather be the best than apologize for anything less.
Now that my Cox Panoramic Wi-Fi reaches all over my home, I can finally stream my history shows in my room. And play my games in the den. And of course, blast my jams all over. Mom! Sorry! Those flutists can get pretty rowdy.
Stream throughout your home with Cox Panoramic Wi-Fi. Speeds vary and are not guaranteed in certain cases. Panoramic Wi-Fi pods sold separately may be required for extended coverage. Restrictions apply.
Anywhere fans go to cheer on their team, there are behind-the-scenes MVPs, ensuring everything is game day ready. We see you, Joe, fixing seats so every fan can enjoy every game. And Allie, who keeps her stadium running smoothly from the moment the first game starts to the last play of the season. At Grainger, you're our MVPs, and we're always here for you with supplies and solutions for every industry and 24/7 customer support. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Mark your calendars for Saturday, May 14th at 6:30 and get your free tickets today for the annual Creighton Baseball Salute to our military community and First Responders Night presented by Hy-Vee. Spend a night at the ballpark celebrating the heroes in our Omaha community. Planned events include pre-game static displays, strata troopers, joint color guard, enlistment ceremony, post-game taps, and a fireworks show presented by Bellino Fireworks. Tickets are available today free of charge by visiting GoCreighton/salute.
Paid for by Herbster for Nebraska.
Critical race theory. We don't want it in our schools.
So why did Jim Pillen support it over and over again?
Jim Pillen approved a whole new department at the University of Nebraska, focused on critical race theory.
The vice chancellor Pillen chose to run the department? He praised violent race riots on the University of Nebraska website. So how did Jim Pillen respond?
He voted to triple the diversity chancellor's budget. Your tax dollars used to teach CRT.
University courses, classes, and seminars on race, privilege, white fragility, and critical whiteness studies.
No matter what Jim Pillen says now, as a regent, he voted to support the teaching of critical race theory for years.
Jim Pillen didn't stand up to critical race theory before. Can we really trust him now?
Cards issued by Celtic Bank, member FDIC. Are you the decision maker in your company? Consider this. For the first time in decades, there's a better option for a corporate card and spend management platform. Meet Ramp, the only corporate card and spend management system designed to help you spend less money so you can make more. Most corporate credit cards offer points as incentives, but those points amount to less than their worth in real cash value. Ramp's credit cards offer you cash back, real money in your pocket. Plus, you control who spends what with each vendor. And Ramp's software collects and verifies receipts automatically, which means you'll stop wasteful spending and close your books in hours instead of days. Businesses that use Ramp add up to 3.3% to their bottom line the first year. If you're a decision maker, adding Ramp could be one of the best decisions you've ever made. And now get $250 when you join Ramp for free. Just go to ramp.com/sports. Ramp.com/sports. ramp.com/sports.
All right, back here on the Connor Happer Show, 1620 The Zone, 1620thezone.com. Happy Friday. It feels like it looks like anyway, we are going to have our 3 days of spring this weekend before it turns summer, and we're fresh out of being in the Pacific Northwest for the last week with our 50s and rain. Sounds about right, BC.
Yeah, I'm going to hit some golf balls today.
Yes. That's what I'm talking. Is this the first time taking the sticks out?
Yeah, it's going to be a little rough. It's just a range session. So I'm a part of my coworker Mike Schaefer has a event he's part of, and I've been invited to be on his team, and I told him, I haven't played in like 6 months, so good luck, but he's still going to have me.
Whoa. Is this okay? So are we talking about the same event? I believe he's asked me to be in this. Is this the one next month?
It's next week, and I thought it was like
one.
I thought it was a really special thing. Like, yeah, he was courting me because of my talent, but now I see he's just asking everybody.
Yeah,
So,
apparently he's just asking random people because he has events. He has golf events every weekend. But I guess that's what happens when he becomes South Lincoln Schaefer and he has to entertain people all the time.
yeah, that's true. That's not a world we're familiar with, but we can dabble in it once in a while. We can go play around and then come back to where we belong.
Exactly. We could act like anything for a day or so. BC, how do you feel like the defense now with the addition of Mathis and Drew and then potentially some other guys who are still coming? How have you progressed on your feeling about Nebraska's defense from where it was maybe at the beginning of spring and then kind of riding that roller coaster all the way up until now?
Well, I mean, I think with the defensive line, first off, now you're kind of looking at, okay, there's some optimism and some possibilities. You're kind of thinking about how they can use like O'Shawn Mathis and Garrett Nelson and Caleb Tanner even together, and how the sack total could improve with those guys and maybe the matchup advantages they each can create for one another. So that's a much different conversation than probably even a week and a half ago when people weren't sure exactly how it was going to go, and we were more locked in, I was, on depth chart deficiencies on the D-line. And so I feel like at least from the public conversation, the tune has shifted now to, okay, I can see the possibilities here. And then you throw in a Devin Drew on the interior, and, the talk is that he's going to do a 4-man front, which Nebraska's trending more towards, is going to fit his game better than the 3-man front he played at Tech. Maybe was a little out of position there. So you hear all these things, and I think it put a little bit of a hop in people's step, because I do think there was definitely some angst sort of in this second portal wave, because we're so close to it now. I mean, now, like back in December or January, you could look at the roster and there were certain holes you can pick out in any team's roster, but you're like, okay, they can always go get this later. There was sort of that thing, and now later feels like tomorrow. It's like right on. It's like me needing to get out to the range right now to fix my golf game, like for this tournament in 4 days. That's what it feels like. With the pressure of the portal and the second wave, and so Nebraska's on the right track there. I do think they could stand to add even one more guy on that D line, and I think they're looking at it. But they have some guys who might be visiting, so we'll see how that goes.
I think they're going to be able to, at least from the guys that they've put together, they should be able to, rush the passer, maybe better than they have. Well, we're still wait and see on that. Maybe it feels okay on the back end too. Is the question that we won't know, like the variable on defense right now, just how well they'll stand up against the run. And then you include that because you are comparing it to last year when they held up their end of the bargain, very, very easily on that side of the ball.
Yeah, I think how they stand up against the run is one big question. And then can they limit explosive plays like they've done well at in the past when you have so many changing parts on the back end? I actually think they might have more talent in the room in the secondary now, but they're guys who are going to have to show they can process the game well while they're playing it. You know what I mean? Like Markel Dismuke and Deontay Williams, you could take for granted sometimes just how much knowledge they had, and they were just going to do their job. Maybe you think some of these younger guys have higher end talent, and that could be true, but is that going to all be realized this season while they're still figuring things out on the go? Like I think a lot of Marquise Buford. I've tried to buy up all the stock I could on him when he arrived, and so I'm excited to see him play. But you have to understand with a guy like that, there's probably going to be some growing pain. He's playing a safety spot where if you have a growing pain moment against the Big Ten team, that can sometimes be a 55-yard play, So that's probably the other concern item that I think still sort of hangs out there is, even though you like the new parts in the secondary on paper, let's not just push to the side how much just football IQ those other guys they're replacing it built up, and these guys have to prove they can do that now.
Yeah, the only way to replicate that, I think, is experience. Now they've brought in some of that out of the transfer portal. I was just looking at the amount of guys that are going to be contributing for them that they've either brought in this offseason or just in the transfer portal in general, and it goes. I mean, your quarterback likely, unless it's Logan Smothers, which I don't see, but Thompson or Purdy, both of those guys came from the portal. A contributor at wide receiver. An offensive lineman or two that they got from either this cycle in the portal or a couple ago. Mathis, Drew on the defensive side, Tommy Hill on the defensive side. Like that's and then the kicker and the punter as well. And that's probably 6, 7, 8 starters that Nebraska is going to have added from the transfer portal. Do you think that that's more of a necessity thing for this team in particular? Or do you think that'll be kind of the way that they move it going forward?
That's a good question. I don't think it's going to be as high as it was this year every year, but I think it's getting close. It's going to be somewhere closer to this. This is going to be the new normal for at least a while, and so people have to get used to this. You have to have a very productive 8 months where you look at your holes and you're like, this is what we're going to do to patch this up, and we're going to seek guys who can contribute immediately, and that's what they've done. I think they've had a very good portal off season. Tommy Hill, I'm pretty excited about. I think has positioned himself as a possible starting corner, but they've also done good at getting guys who have strong resumes that show like they've at least done something. Like Omar Brown was hurt this spring, but he's a guy from Northern Iowa that had 140 tackles. And he was a freshman All-American in the FCS. And like Bushini's a guy who had a net punt average of 43 yards last year. And yeah, it's FCS, but it's same deal for him punting the ball, you'd think. So you'd hope he can sort of duplicate that. So I like Nebraska's sort of, I feel like, philosophy with portal additions, in that you don't want to stretch too much for guys who haven't shown you anything and just hope that all of a sudden over a course of like 3 months they're going to be guys who can play in the Big Ten. And so I think when you look at the guys they've got, that's what's encouraging to me. I don't know how it's going to play out, but there is at least some proven data on some of these players where I think other teams maybe just reach for a guy based off his high school recruiting prowess or how he was regarded then, and he hasn't done anything in college yet. So what makes you think he's going to suddenly do it now?
Yeah. It's interesting. This will be something that we're watching all the time and thinking about, because I thought, and they were, keep in mind, this is kind of pre-transfer portal opening up, or at least one-time automatic free transfer. And then also the roster was in a different place last year. But I was kind of getting the sense last year that they were moving a little bit more toward being this quote-unquote developmental program, a little bit more like some of their counterparts in the West, like Wisconsin, Iowa. They don't dabble much in the transfer portal, obviously, and they develop guys, and after 2 or 3 years, all of a sudden they're players for them in their system. I think they can develop guys. It kind of leads me to believe that this is more of a one-off than not, but it's always going to be a thing for Nebraska. And I think you got to find where that line is.
Yeah, and I mean, let's face it, there's major pressure to win this year for this staff, and that's part of it. It's not like you can afford to, just throw Raquan Buckley out there and let this be a year where he learns by trial by fire. You got to find some guys who can do it right now. And, that's understood by everybody. So I think you're right that it's sort of an in-between. I think Nebraska is going to emphasize it more than some of their peers in the conference, but I don't know that they're always going to meet the number they've hit this year. But that's definitely a storyline to watch. And it's hard to say for sure, because college football's landscape and like how we view it seems to shift by the month, and how certain things operate. So who knows what we'll be thinking about where college football sits, and what if there's any movement on legislation with NIL and stuff like that a year from now. So that's all stuff that's just sort of hanging in the wind that you don't know how it's going to go.
Yep, no doubt about it. It's changing every day. All right, BC, we'll let you go. Appreciate you taking the time as always, man, and we'll chat next week.
Yep, thanks a lot, Connor.
Bryan Christopherson of Husker 24/7. He's the word that he used there is, I think, pretty good on the whole, where's your roster at? Where does it come from? And how do you want to make it going forward? It's a bit of an in-between right now. And there's a reason why it's an in-between. He said it. They got to win football games this year. You can't just roll out, the guys that you've developed for only 1 year and say, well, this is what we have. You have the opportunity to go get guys, so you're going to end up doing it, and you have to take advantage of that. But ideally, Nebraska's roster is in a place where they can, mix in guys, and they have a fair amount of that on their roster. I don't know if you want to be in the in-between, though. It's weird, because I love the idea of, plugging holes where you can. But over a long period of time, I don't know if you want to be doing that, because the hit rate on those guys is you just never know, especially if you're late getting them in the portal, and the portal's so competitive and trying to get guys anyway. I think you got to be a little bit more of a developmental program. Be a little bit closer to Iowa and Wisconsin. While still dabbling where you can in a good spot in the portal. But Nebraska's just they're playing so much catch up, I think, with their roster right now, that you can't ask them to say, well, this is what we're going to be, and we're going to roll it out there. And they got to win games. So a tricky spot right now, but this is all that matters. That's for sure. This coming season. All right, we'll come back. Josh has the odd news for you next on 1620 The Zone.
Big names, big games. We've got them all. 1620 The Zone.
Pandemic-impacted homeowners may be at risk of losing their homes, which is why the state of Nebraska is providing relief through the Homeowner Assistance Fund. Qualified homeowners can receive up to $30,000 in assistance for past due mortgage payments, past due real estate taxes, HOA dues, and homeowners or flood insurance. Funds will be distributed until they run out, and they do not need to be paid back. View qualifications and apply today at NebraskaHAF.com. That's NebraskaHAF.com.
Teaching is one of the most rewarding careers and is in high demand. If you have a bachelor's degree but are not satisfied with your current career, at College of St. Mary, you can earn a teaching certificate and a master's degree at the same time. available to both women and men. We make it easy to balance your work and home life with classes online and on Saturdays. Get started on your teaching certificate and master's degree today. Visit College of St. Mary at csm.edu.
A tradition of winning doesn't happen overnight. Like any team, you gotta be tough, play smart, and work hard. No one understands this more than Ford Motor Company. They built the best team in the game with Ford F-Series, America's best-selling trucks 45 years straight. The iconic Ford Bronco and the most powerful Ford Explorer ever. Shop online at buyfordnow.com or visit your local Ford dealer to buy or custom build the perfect truck or SUV for you. Based on 1977 to 2021 calendar year total sales.
O'Reilly. If your vehicle squeals or grinds when you slow down or just isn't stopping like it used to, you may need new brake rotors and pads. Now through May 24th at O'Reilly Auto Parts, get 15% off a set of Brake Best Select or Import Direct brake pads and 2 rotors. Restore safe braking and save money now at O'Reilly Auto Parts or order online at O'ReillyAuto.com. O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Hey, it's Nick. Join Unsportsmanlike Conduct on the road today at Warner Park ahead of the Omaha Storm Chasers as they host the Columbus Clippers. They're back in action with an exciting team full of future Major League stars. Join us today at Warner Park on 1620 The Zone.
Well, you need to cool down, but the temperature's stuck. Call the pros in the big yellow truck. Peace of mind with no hidden fees. Heating and AC with the best guarantee. That says
always on time or you don't pay a dime. Always on time or you don't pay a dime. Now with heating and air conditioning.
Hey, this is Jake from State Farm. Since I'm all about being a good neighbor, I want to let you know that some other car insurance companies are increasing their rates in your state. So it's a good time to check your latest bill. But don't worry, if your bill's gone up and your budget's busted, switch to State Farm for surprisingly great rates. Problem solved. For surprisingly great rates, like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. Call or visit statefarm.com for a quote today.
And now we've reached the point in the show where Josh Odson reads the peculiar, the bizarre, the comical, the odd news with Odd Son. Odd news, Odd Son. See what we did there? The odd news with Oddson.
It is time for the odd news with Josh. Hello, Josh.
Hello, Connor.
I'm ready.
Okay.
I prepared myself for the odd news.
I don't think you are ready because it's odd today.
Is there nudity?
Let's see. No.
Okay.
There is drunken behavior, but I don't think it escalates to nudity.
That's pretty normal.
Also, the World Video Game Hall of Fame has announced their class of 2022.
Oh, woo.
It is headlined by Ms. Pac-Man.
That's a Hall of Fame game?
Hall of Fame video game. It was inducted yesterday into the World Video Game Hall of Fame along with Dance Dance Revolution.
Okay, that makes sense. That's a Hall of Fame game.
The Legend of Zelda: Ocarina of Time.
Sure.
And Sid Meier's Civilization.
Never heard of it.
The Hall of Fame considers...
Who's in the Hall of Fame?
You look that up. I'll keep reading.
What's it called? The Video Game Hall of Fame?
World Video Game Hall of Fame. Hall of Fame considers electronic games of all types each year: arcade, console, computer, handheld, and mobile. Inductees are recognized for their popularity and influence on the video game industry or pop culture. Ms. Pac-Man, released in 1981 as the follow-up to Pac-Man, which entered the hall as part of the inaugural class of 2015.
Yep.
The Pac-Man sequel reimagined the main character to acknowledge the original game's female fans, according to the hall. And spoiler alert, it's the exact same game. It's just a pink bow on top of the Pac-Man's head.
Yeah.
It's the only difference.
So is this an anti-Miss Pac-Man rant from you?
No. I just want people to be crystal clear on what Ms. Pac-Man actually is.
Okay. The first Hall of Fame class in 2015 consisted of the following games: Doom, Pac-Man,
Sure.
Pong,
Oh yeah, yeah.
Super Mario Brothers,
There it is.
Tetris,
Okay.
World of Warcraft, Angry Birds.
It's a big class.
Yeah, there's like a bunch of them. So what does the bold mean? Oh, these were the finalists. Oh, sorry. Okay, so Doom, Pac-Man, Pong, Super Mario Bros, Tetris, and World of Warcraft.
Okay.
Those were the entrants into the Hall of Fame in 2015.
Don't really have any qualms with that. Maybe Doom, maybe not first class. Maybe it had to wait a year or two. For me personally,
Zelda, Oregon Trail, Sims, Sonic, Space Invaders, and Grand Theft Auto 3 got in the next year.
yeah, I would say so.
When does our first sports game go in?
Oh yeah, where's Madden?
Looks like Madden went in. John Madden Football, so the original John Madden Football went in 2016. It appears. Mortal
John
Kombat,
Madden, yeah.
Microsoft Solitaire,
Oh yeah.
Super Mario Kart, Minecraft. Where in the world is Carmen Sandiego goes in last year?
Hmm.
Flight Simulator goes in last year.
Oh yeah, had some fun on the flight simulator.
I love the Flight Simulator. I bought the new Flight Simulator for my Xbox,
Okay.
but I mean, the game file. So I have the Xbox that like doesn't have the it doesn't do discs anymore. So you have to like it just downloads onto your Xbox.
Okay.
The file is too large. It's too big. It takes up the entire Xbox basically. It's like the only game that you can have.
Oh wow, that's poor planning.
It is. So I needed like an external hard drive or something. And that was just more trouble than I was willing to go through. So there's your game Hall of Fames.
The finalists this year, we told you what did make it. Here are the ones that didn't. Assassin's Creed, Candy Crush, Minesweeper, NBA Jam, Parappa the Rapper, Resident Evil, and Words with Friends.
Yeah. Some deserving candidates in there.
Yeah, they'll get their due someday.
Minesweeper, come on.
Yeah.
All
How
right,
do you play it? I don't know, but we all played it.
yeah, you clicked a whole bunch. I
Yeah.
don't know what happened. So most famous Microsoft or your favorite Microsoft computer game. This could be a poll question. Finalists are Minesweeper, Solitaire, Pinball, Space Pinball. That was the GOAT for me.
Space Pinball, yeah. Solitaire, very close second.
I think Space Invader Pinball, or maybe just Space Pinball. That game was awesome.
All right.
And your computers just came with it. That's just how it worked.
Give me those finalists again for you.
If you can come up with, or if anybody on Twitter or something like that can come up with anything else right now.
Space Pinball, Solitaire.
Yeah, and Minesweeper.
Okay, yeah. We'll put it up on the poll here after this segment.
Yeah. Also, if there's any other entrants that want to go in, please let us know via the JTech Instruction Zone Twitter feed.
Yeah, yeah. All right, that is story one. Story two, a drunken Maine man, like a man from the state of Maine,
Maine man,
has been arrested after trying to hide from police under a blanket.
Well, not going to work for you.
Shout out Belfast Police Department as they were able to apprehend the suspect, who was an intoxicated man arrested for trespassing early Monday morning after trying to hide from police underneath a blanket. Officers responded around 9:30 p.m. Sunday to the Admiral Ocean Inn in Belfast for a report of a disturbance caused by a drunken man, later identified as Philip Delude. Police removed Delude from the property and told him not to return or else he'd be arrested. When police performed a sweep of the parking lot around 12:30 a.m., police said they found someone hiding in a chair with a blanket draped over themselves. Police pulled off the blanket to reveal Delude hiding underneath it. Here at the Belfast Police Department, we have seen some crafty ways of hiding from the police.
This one was not crafty.
That is correct. They posted on Facebook poking fun at the situation.
Yeah, this one doesn't work unless you are playing hide and seek from 3-year-olds.
Yeah, not the best strategy. I'd like to hear how he thought.
You have like a 3-year-old, right?
Yeah.
Can you hide under a blanket and still be able to hide from your 3-year-old?
No, because he thinks I'm a ghost whenever I do that, and he will go, "Chase me, Daddy, chase me," and I'll be like, "Yeah, sure, why the hell not?"
So it doesn't even work on a 3-year-old.
Correct.
Not going to work on police.
And finally, in the odd news here today, Justin Bieber, you're familiar?
Yeah, I know Justin. Good guy.
Yeah, he is allegedly not allowed to buy a Ferrari ever again.
Ferrari has banned him from buying a Ferrari?
Yes. The company has a zero tolerance policy when it comes to celebs messing with the brand's image. The multimillionaire child star and world-famous pop icon is not having a good time outside of his... he doesn't have personal woes. That feels like a shot. I think he's doing all right for himself. He's settled down. He got married. What's wrong with you, article?
He's doing fine.
Yeah. Ferrari has blacklisted the singer. Bieber has been known to buy a few exclusive supercars here and there with cars such as the Ferrari La Ferrari. That's a terrible name for a car. But I guess you're Ferrari. What the hell do you care? A chromed out Fisker Karma and a Ferrari 458. I don't know what any of that means, but I'm sure car guys do.
Car dudes.
Yeah. Bieber has now been blacklisted. Yes, tell us why, article.
Come on.
Bieber took ownership of his white Ferrari 458 Italia back in 2011, and to Ferrari's obvious disgust, proceeded to paint it electric blue and fitted it with a Liberty Walk wide body kit. What is that? I don't really know. As reported by some media in Italy, the worst crime of all is the fact that Bieber had the Ferrari badges covered in electric blue. Ferrari makes it clear to every owner that their vehicles are not to be tampered with. They're not allowed to modify the engine. They are not allowed to do any body modifications or paint its cars in Florida stripper blue.
They don't get that rule. They can't say that.
It's my car.
Yeah. You don't own it anymore.
Ferrari must approve any modifications before they are carried out. Bieber crossed yet another line in 2017 where he auctioned off his second 458 Italia, another no-no for the company. Ferrari forbids its customers from selling their cars during the first year of ownership, but any plans for a sale thereafter must still be approved by the head office. Ferrari set this rule to discourage car flipping and preserve the integrity of the brand to its most loyal customers.
I am out on Ferrari.
Yeah.
I'm Team Bieber. Paint your car whatever color you want.
The ban means that Bieber will not be eligible to be on Ferrari's exclusive wait lists, but with so much money in the bank, we're sure that Bieber won't have any issues
I don't think he cares.
convincing other Ferrari owners to part with their cars. Bieber now joins an esteemed list of Ferraris blacklisted, which includes Kim Kardashian and Nicolas Cage.
Not shocking at all.
Nope.
Honestly, I was going to guess the next thing that came into your mouth, and I was going to say The Rock. I wasn't that far away.
You were not.
Wow. Ferrari.
Strict rules.
Very strict.
And you got to think he's only in trouble because he's a celebrity. Like if you and me bought a Ferrari and then painted it, Ferrari would never know because they're...
I don't know. Maybe.
We're not plastering it all over social media.
Unless we are
with millions of followers.
If I have a Ferrari and I painted it whatever color I want, I might put it on Twitter.
If I afford a Ferrari, you're going to hear about it.
Do you see Bijan Robinson got the NIL deal with Lamborghini?
No.
Yeah.
Wow. Expect a hashtag ad on his feed coming up.
He says, when dreams turn into reality, God, I'm grateful. Thank you to Lambo, Austin, Texas for the partnership. Hashtag Lambo partnership. And there he is.
All right.
Sitting in his nice new Lamborghini, driving it around the mean streets of Austin.
Good for you. Does he like take that to practice?
I don't know. It's brand new. This was just yesterday.
Okay.
I don't know if he'll be painting it stripper blue, but I don't know if Lambo will have a problem with that.
Yeah, Lambo might be more forgiving when it comes to those types of things.
So much I don't know about the car industry. It's a new one today. That's why we always learn on the Odd News. Josh, thank you.
It's a service I provide. Happy to do it. Thank you.
A couple poll questions up during the segment as well. Do you know how to play Minesweeper? And is Miss Pac-Man a Hall of Fame video game?
I would like to point out that your choices on do you know how to play Minesweeper are no and no.
Was that purpose?
Yes.
Okay.
That's the joke.
Just making sure, because I know you know, it's a struggle to get those poll questions out because a lot of times you're talking at the same time. It's like, all right, how do I word this?
Talking and typing very hard.
This one was real. We'll see. My guess would be 50-50 between the no's. All right. Noon hour is coming up. Don't forget, we'll have a Sipple still at 1 o'clock.
And you've checked with him. He can make time for us.
I haven't checked with him.
Oh, okay.
Is he supposed to be doing anything? I just assumed. I could confirm.
It's not working.
It's not working. We're just gonna call him. I assume he'll answer. Be cool. All right. A few things to get through here in the noon hour of the Connor Happer Show on 1620 The Zone.
Live from the Host Coffee Studio, this is 1620 The Zone.
There are actually two kinds of cigars. The first is the one you smoke with beloved family and friends. The second, the one you enjoy with friends you've just met. And you'll find both at Hearth Cigars and Pipes Lounge. At Hearth Cigars and Pipes Lounge, there's a well-stocked humidor with some of the best bands from around the world and a bar with your favorite cocktails and other drinkables. So what do you say? Which cigar will you be enjoying tonight? Hearth Cigars and Pipes Lounge, just off I-680 and 48th Street next to Cubby's.
This weekend at all 42-degree locations, you can save on Kratom and CBD. When it comes to premium Kratom and CBD, there is only one choice, 42 Degrees, the source, with our best-selling Kratom starting at $14.99. CBD for you and your pets up to 50% off. And the most knowledgeable and friendly staff. Why shop anywhere else? Hurry down to any 42-degree location this weekend and save on all your Kratom and CBD. 42 Degrees, by your mom's house.
Give your business a whole host of options with Host Coffee. The most impressive selection of office coffee, water options, healthy food options, and vending technologies. Host Coffee, serving you since 72.
Hi guys, it's Andrew with Brookside Medical Clinic. Is erectile dysfunction damaging your relationship? Are you sick of the pill and all the side effects? Well, welcome to the future. We have a major medical breakthrough. Brookside Medical Clinic uses the most advanced form of wave therapy. Backed by 60 clinical studies, our technology uses pressure waves to repair and open up blood vessels. We've helped countless men get rid of their ED. But what is the true end result? Their relationship, even their lives, improve drastically. If you're ready to regain your love life, call us right now, and not only will the assessment and ultrasound be free, we'll also give you a gift that produces immediate results in the bedroom. It almost never fails. This is worth $550, and it's free to callers right now. 402-671-7777. That's 402-671-7777. Put a stop to your erectile dysfunction and experience what I call the happiness ripple effect. Call Brookside Medical Clinic now. 402-671-7777.
Join Blur Parties at Hilton Omaha this June as we host a premier college baseball championship tailgate. Experience an all-inclusive full bar and buffet, TV, music, and a variety of tailgate games. Book a corporate tailgate event or just hang out with friends. The best part is we're located on the south side of Charles Schwab Field at the Hilton Omaha. Visit blurparties.com to buy tickets or to find out about sponsorship opportunities. That's blurparties.com, your college baseball and football tailgate destination.
I always wanted to learn Spanish, but I never thought I'd have the time. Then I discovered Babbel.
Babbel's lessons are fun. They only take like 10 or 15 minutes, and in 3 weeks, presto, you're speaking another language, like magic.
I love that Babbel's lessons aren't just robots talking. They're voiced by native speakers, so you get the pronunciation just right.
If you want to learn a language, there's no faster, easier, better way than
Babbel.
Babbel.
Babbel. Go to Babbel.com to try for free. That's BABBEL.com. Babbel.com.
Hello, I'm Doug Nodgaard with Equitable Bank. If you've been dissatisfied with your current banking situation, maybe it's time to move to a bank that works to deserve your business. We have an engaged staff that offers exceptional personalized service. We also have a great digital banking platform. We have 2 locations at 108th and Dodge or 202nd and Pacific. So if you're looking for a superior banking relationship, give us a call at 402-827-8100. We'll answer on the first ring. Equitable Bank, we take banking personally. Member FDIC.
I first got to know Charles when he was one of my earliest supporters and made him the chair of my agriculture advisory committee. You have the chance to elect a die-hard MAGA champion as your governor, Charles W. Herbster.
I promise you, as the governor, I will make Nebraska great again.
Charles W. Herbster, a good man. Get everyone you know and vote for Charles W. Herbster.
Paid for by Herbster for Nebraska. Paid for by Herbster for Nebraska.
As America finally moves towards ending abortion, Charles W. Herbster knows governors must take the next step. Just like President Donald J. Trump delivered on his promises, Charles W. Herbster will protect the unborn.
We will protect innocent life, and we will proudly uphold the Judeo-Christian values of our nation's founding.
Endorsed by President Trump, trusted to fight for pro-life conservative values, Charles W. Herbster, Governor.
Shop Woodhouse Place Hyundai and Nissan, 144th and Giles. KOZN, Bellevue, Omaha, Council Bluffs.
All right, so over the next week, we're going to get bits and pieces of the NFL schedule, which is just perfect NFL, by the way, until we get the full thing. I think so. It does it start next Thursday, or does it end next Thursday?
I believe they're going to roll the entire schedule out on Thursday.
Okay, so we'll get little chunks of it, I think, starting Monday.
Yeah, you'll probably see a leak or two
from the TV. No, like they're actually going to be TV networks.
Oh, okay.
Announcing things. They basically split it up and pie charted it out. It's like, yeah, you can announce these games. I don't know, and they're of course all the networks that want to do a show on it will do it. The NFL Network already did something to affect this week, but as we get the full schedule, Bill Sparrows, who is a betting analyst and a sports columnist at the Boston Herald, has put together the list of how far each team will travel and how many times they'll change time zones and the total mileage. So, not surprisingly, the Seattle Seahawks will travel the furthest this year. They're the most remote NFL team, I would say. They probably lead it in most years.
And they're also playing in Germany.
And they're playing in Germany, which, that'll add to the mileage. That'll add up pretty quick.
Yeah.
Do you think Seattle's the most, jumping my geography brain real quick, Seattle's probably the most remote NFL team? Like the furthest from any other NFL team?
Yeah, I would say that'd be my guess, yeah.
We don't have a team in Hawaii yet, do we?
Not yet.
29,000 miles and 34 time zones.
Oof.
For the Seattle Seahawks next year. The Denver Broncos come in second. They're all these teams that are playing overseas. They're topping the list. Down at the bottom of the list, we find the Pittsburgh Steelers, who will only have to travel a grand total of 6,442 miles and will never leave the Eastern time zone with their schedule next year.
I don't see how that's possible.
It's crazy that we have in the same league, in a league that is really, it's pretty uniform top to bottom. We talk about college football not having really any rules whatsoever, and that's kind of the state of things in college football right now. The NFL is, it's pretty equitable across the board. It's the same, right? Seattle's traveling 30,000 miles throughout the entire year, and Pittsburgh isn't leaving the Eastern time zone.
So, if I have this right, Cincinnati is the furthest west they're going. They have road games at Atlanta, at Baltimore, at Carolina, at Cincy, at Cleveland, at Miami, at Buffalo, at Indianapolis. That might be the one that's further west. I don't know.
Indy's further west than
Okay.
Cincy,
Yeah.
but still in the Eastern time zone.
And then at Philly. The Raiders come to
At Philly's the same.
come to Hines.
state, yeah.
So
okay, their road games once again: Atlanta, Baltimore, Carolina, Cincinnati, Cleveland, Miami.
Yes.
That's probably the furthest one. Buffalo, Indy, Philly. That's correct. They're not leaving the Eastern time zone.
They are not.
Next year, their home games, so they get all their division teams at home. Their crossover division appears to be the NFC South.
Yes.
And they get New Orleans, Tampa Bay at home, and then Vegas at home as well. So I have to go to Vegas.
Luck of the draw, I guess.
I guess so.
You're going to break in a new quarterback. He'll be comfortable, I guess. He won't have the road miles
how about
on
Kenny
him.
Pickett? He just doesn't travel at all.
College and Pitt. Yeah, just keep the same house, Kenny.
No, he had the whole bit where they literally share a practice facility. So when he walked in to do his draft press conference on the day after he was drafted, he simply opened the left door instead of the right door. And now he will not have to travel very much this season as well. That division's kind of jammed together as far as the geography piece of it as well. And then we have the Seahawks who are traveling quite far for most games, and then to Germany as well. Quick thing here. So this is college football at its best. I love when football teams are petty like this. Now we're going to be able to make fun of them, but I appreciate the pettiness. And the team responsible for the pettiness today is the Michigan State Spartans. So they have created themselves. I think they get Peach Bowl rings. They won the Peach Bowl last year. They get Peach Bowl rings.
Speaking of Kenny Pickett,
there you go. Michigan State was able to win that game against Kenny Pickett, and Michigan State gets their nice Peach Bowl rings. They had a great season.
I don't think Kenny played though
last year. And on the rings, it depicts it. It has the Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl logo. They beat Pitt 31-21. That's on one side of the ring, and then they have their logo on the top, and it's got diamonds all over it. It's a good-looking ring. On the other side, they had to figure out something to put there, and for Michigan State, it wasn't a difficult decision. They decided to prominently feature the final score of their game against Michigan, which was famously not in the Peach Bowl, 37-33, with an axe on top of it. And this is today's installment of Petty College Football, which I very much enjoy.
I'm here for it. It's funny.
Are you gonna make? What are you gonna do? All right.
But this is one of those things where it matters to you a heck of a lot more than it matters to them.
But it kills them.
Just kind of twist that knife a little bit.
Now, Michigan fans are probably like, well, we're in your head 24/7.
Yeah,
rent free, right?
Wins over Ohio State. We made the playoff.
Let's look at the comments. I'm sure all of them just say rent free.
It's got to. Michigan fan does not care about Sparty.
It's a response from Nicholas, who says, as a Michigan fan, I could say that this is a good-looking ring. Also, as a Michigan fan, it's completely hilarious that you put a score of a game that was completely unrelated to winning the Peach Bowl on this ring.
Yeah, couldn't have put
it's offending them though.
Like a team slogan or alternate logo.
Oh yeah. So if you're a Michigan fan, how are you taking this? Are you saying, well, yeah, we're in their heads. We got them exactly where we want them, or why can't we beat these idiots who just keep beating us and then telling us about it afterwards? It's growing to be a problem for us. Michigan State can come back and say, look, that was a great season for you guys. You won the Big Ten East. You finally beat Ohio State. You won the Big Ten. You smashed Iowa in the Big Ten championship game. You went all the way to the college football playoff. Great year, but you couldn't beat us. Weird. And you have that on them forever.
No, good
Not unlike the Duke, North Carolina thing. Like, hey, great year.
Good year for you, Michigan. It was good for you. You finally made that playoff. We'd been there before in 2015. Good for you. Good season for you. We're celebrating our season.
Yep.
The way we want to.
And
but you had a nice little season for you.
Any little trash talking piece you can get if you're one of those schools, you're going to take advantage of it.
Love petty college football.
Yep. Really, really good. All right. We'll jump back into Husker football a little bit here. Sipple will join us at the top of the hour. I've come up with a sort of formula, basically, on how we kind of think about Nebraska this upcoming year and how many wins they could have. The question is, do they need to be better in order to win more games? We'll get into the nitty-gritty of it next here on 1620 The Zone.
Zone, taste of our takes. Sharp and Benning in the morning.
Ted Ginn Jr. is along with Johnny Rogers, Mike Rozier. You had a line about your ears versus listening. What was that line again, and where did that come from?
Shut your mouth and just listen. I've just been an old soul. I always had guys that was 8 years, 10 years, 12 years older than me, teaching me game, just being in that field. As I got older, I kind of understood things a little differently.
For more, tune in every day to 1620 AM or go to 1620thezone.com. Your Omaha area forecast from Canoyer Garden Center and KETV Newswatch 7 on 1620 The Zone.
We'll finally see some sunshine Friday with partly mostly cloudy skies. Watch out for some fog early on, mainly south and west of the metro. Comfortable and calm in the afternoon with highs in the mid to upper 60s. More sunshine, breezy, and warmer on Saturday with highs in the mid-70s. I'm meteorologist Sean Everson from KETV Newswatch 7.
The Connor Happer Show returns in minutes on 1620 The Zone.
Dingman's Mechanical Repair. Service is at the heart of our business. Visit us at dingmansmechanical.com.
Here are your 3 brownie batter and yellow cake batter shakes. Enjoy your Sonic.
You know how you could really win some brownie points with the lady? How? Going and picking up a brownie batter shake.
Don't you think that's obvious, though? Do you think she would know that you're trying to get brownie points?
Doesn't matter.
Why lick the spoon when you can drink the whole cup? Indulge in Sonic brownie batter and yellow cake batter shakes, hand-mixed and made with real ice cream. Try one half price in the app for a limited time only at Sonic. Exclusions apply. See app for details. Mobile ordering available at select locations. Hours may vary.
Searching for a new to you car, truck, or SUV? Shop Woodhouse first. Over 1,000 pre-owned vehicles, all makes, all models, in stock and on the lot. Plus, confidence comes standard when you purchase a pre-owned car, truck, or SUV from Woodhouse. With our multi-point inspection, transparent pricing, available add-on warranties, and financing options, purchasing a pre-owned vehicle has never been simpler. Experience the difference and drive away confident and road-ready in your new vehicle from Woodhouse.
Join the Omaha Storm Chasers at Warner Park every Saturday for Bands and Brews, presented by J&M Displays and Warner Enterprises. Each week will feature a different pregame concert and local craft brewery the hour before first pitch. Don't miss live music and happy hour beer specials. Find details on each Saturday's Bands and Brews at omahastormchasers.com.
Omaha Storm Chasers family. Everyone get on your feet, stir up the storm, we're family.
I first got to know Charles when he was one of my earliest supporters and made him the chair of my agriculture advisory committee. You have the chance to elect a die-hard MAGA champion as your governor, Charles W. Herbster.
I promise you, as the governor, I will make Nebraska great again.
Charles W. Herbster, a good man. Get everyone you know and vote for Charles W. Herbster.
Paid for by Herbster for Nebraska. Paid for by Herbster for Nebraska.
As America finally moves towards ending abortion, Charles W. Herbster knows governors must take the next step. Just like President Donald J. Trump delivered on his promises, Charles W. Herbster will protect the unborn.
We will protect innocent life, and we will proudly uphold the Judeo-Christian values of our nation's founding.
Endorsed by President Trump, trusted to fight for pro-life conservative values, Charles W. Herbster, Governor.
Excuse me, Carol?
Hey, Dale. You finished that report I asked for?
Oh, yeah, about that. I didn't get a chance to do it.
No worries. You've been so busy.
Really?
Of course. Dale, you're our hardest worker. You should take an extra week of vacation.
Are you firing me?
No, I promise. Just giving you the break you deserve.
Wow. Thanks, boss. You sure you're not firing me?
Actually, I'm going to promote you. But first, take a week off on the company's dime.
Sometimes things just get better. Like AT&T. We've invested more than $150 million to grow our wireless network coverage to over 99% of Nebraska. So you can talk, text, and share in more places than ever. Visit att.com/Nebraska and learn how to get a free smartphone when you switch to AT&T. Coverage not available everywhere. Over 99% coverage based on third-party data. Network investments based on 2018 through 2020 expenditure.
What makes mulch so lovable? The texture? The smell? Well, it's not just people that love mulch. Your plants do too. Retaining moisture and regulating soil temps, it's the whole package. And when you use Scott's Earthgrow or exclusive Vigoro wood mulches, you can even pick the color. What's not to love? Stop in for mulch and everything else you need this season. It feels like spring at the Home Depot. How doers get more done.
I always wanted to learn Spanish, but I never thought I'd have the time. Then I discovered Babbel.
Babbel's lessons are fun. They only take like 10 or 15 minutes, and in 3 weeks, presto, you're speaking another language, like magic.
I love that Babbel's lessons aren't just robots talking. They're voiced by native speakers, so you get the pronunciation just right.
If you want to learn a language, there's no faster, easier, better way than
Babbel.
Babbel.
Babbel. Go to Babbel.com to try for free. That's BABBEL.com. Babbel.com.
Equitable Bank. We take banking personally. EquitableOnline.com.
Okay. This is a thought starter here, coming from our stream, actually. Once again, 1620thezone.com, where you could watch us on YouTube. Troy comments in from YouTube. Who is the Big Ten coach Frost wants to beat the most for embarrassing him in the past years, Fleck or Ferentz? I would say with extreme ease, my answer to this question is PJ Fleck. Those two people do not like each other.
It's true.
Those two programs do not operate the same way. It comes out as much as it can in pregame, the week leading up to the game, and then of course the postgame as well. Remember, when Scott Frost and his team lost to Minnesota in 2019, they went up there and got destroyed. I think it was 34-7 was the final score. Got ran all over. And Nebraska had a backup quarterback, and it was a mess from the very beginning of the game. The weather was bad. It was an important game for Nebraska. But remember, Scott Frost said after the game, we had a bunch of guys out there wearing hoodies and all that stuff. And then the topic leading into the week was, leading into the game was, hey, how are you going to deal with the weather up there? It's supposed to be bad. It's supposed to be ugly. And Frost and Troy Walters at the time didn't seem to really care all that much. They didn't really give it that much thought. They were kind of like, hey, we're going to do our thing. That's who we are. And then after the game, the hoodies comment happened, and it was cold and it was wet and it was rainy / snowy, kind of sleety that night. I was there in Minneapolis. And then PJ after the game goes out of his way to say, we love our weather.
We love our weather.
We love our weather.
We love it here.
Yep. This is the way we do things. May not be what everybody like. There's been those moments, just a little shot back and forth over the last couple of years. So do I think that those guys, when the Big Ten coaches meet up in the end of July in Indianapolis, and maybe they all go to St. Elmo's, do I think that those two were sitting next to each other? I do not. I do not think they'll be sharing a shrimp cocktail.
Yeah, there seems to be, at least towards Ferentz, and a begrudging respect.
Yeah, no, I think so. I think it's a full-on respect.
Yeah.
They have a lot of respect for Iowa and the way that they do things.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, that was abundantly clear after the first year. Remember Frost's comment after the first game they played him? He goes, we're not nearly as big as they are. We got to get bigger.
Mm-hmm.
And they, that's the way that they kind of do things over there. No, I think that is a genuine respect for Iowa and the way that they go about their business. And there's some Iowa ties on Nebraska's staff as well. Of course, Eric Shenander played there. So yeah, I think that's a real genuine respect with Iowa. With Minnesota,
No.
So to answer your question, Troy, without a doubt, PJ Fleck.
We'll see if Frost wants to go out there and comment on Fleck's new face. People forget he got a new face.
Oh yes, please give me that. No, so we have our game in the afternoon so we're sitting at whatever baseline we're sitting at. I'm at 6 wins right now, and any little thing that happens for the next 3 months leading up to the season, it could either move it up or move it down by a hair, and we'll see where it ends up on at the end of August when we fire things up. If Frost came out and for like at the next press conference, he mentioned something about somebody getting plastic surgery or a new face or something like that, it would go up a half a win for me.
We're focused on football. We're not out there, keeping up appearances and all that. Some thinly veiled shot. Yeah, you got to bump them up half a win.
Yeah. So somebody asked Frost, because this has been a talking point over the last couple of years. How he looks, or if he looks like beat down or something like that by the job. I don't know. Let's just say that comes up or something like that. He's like, yeah, well, I'm just am who I am. I'm never going to be the guy to, change anything about my appearance. Don't really care. I am who I am. And, I don't need any help from doctors to make me look better.
I told my team this afternoon, I'm Batman. You're Two-Face. Feels like a stretch there, Coach. What are you trying to say?
What are you talking about?
Yeah.
Let's talk about PJ Fleck. Come on, pick up on the joke.
Two-Face.
Yes, that would be my answer to the question. Scott Frost. And it kind of worked out perfectly with him and Fleck, right? So they beat him pretty good in the first year, and that was Frost's first win, and it was kind of a day where everything just really went right for him. It was 53-28, I think was the final score. And they kind of just, had their way with Minnesota that day for Frost's first win. And then in 19, it was super disappointing because they went up there and it felt like it meant more, to Minnesota than it did to Nebraska. And like I said, they were dealing with some other stuff, but felt like it meant a little bit more to them. In 20, they came to Lincoln, remember, and they had been ravaged by COVID. Their defensive line had 2 available players, and they just ran the hell out of the ball against Nebraska and beat them. What was the final score in 20? By a touchdown. 24-17, by the way. Nebraska was a 9.5-point favorite going into that game. And then there was last year, which I would also call somewhat of a disaster. Nebraska went back up there. They were a 4-point favorite. They had been playing well. This is coming off of the huge win against Northwestern and then a loss to Michigan. So you go back up there to Minnesota. He's like, hey, we got a chance. And then Adrian is, he's got the ankle thing. He's dealing with that. And they're like, hey, here's what we're going to do. We're going to run him a whole bunch.
That makes sense, right?
Yep.
Justin got the joke better written than we did. Frost comes out at Big Ten Media Days and says, well, I see there's some new faces around here. Do it, Scott. Do it.
Scott, what do you mean by that? I don't think there's any new Big Ten coaches. Huh. Well, I see one new one. Yeah. Yeah, that'd be my answer to that question. Okay. So we're, as I mentioned with the win total thing, that's kind of been the topic of conversation this week, right? Nebraska is sitting at 7.5 on FanDuel, promo code Happer.
The most unique promo code.
Thank you. That's how I'm going to sell it. That's what we have to sell here. So you're trying to figure out how Nebraska can get to this number, and then you're doing the math with last year in the back of your head. Can they find a way to be as good as they were last year, if not better, and win twice as many games? How does that math all end up? You split it into a whole bunch of different categories. Let's start with team talent. Right? This is just overall team talent. I think Nebraska is going to be worse there this year. I don't think they'll have as much. I think they were really, and this includes experience too, they were really experienced last year. It all lined up for them to have a lot more wins than they did, obviously, and they just didn't. I think they're going to take a step back in that category, but that's just one of the categories. And not that these all are necessarily weighted the same, but there's some things that go into it. What are the things that cost Nebraska some games last year? Special teams. Is it fair? Now, I would like some people's thoughts on this. So you could tweet at Happer Show on the JTech Instructions on Twitter feed. You could call us, email Connor at 1620thezone.com in the Equitable Bank inbox. Special teams. Is this an automatic arrow up? Are they automatically going to be better on special teams than they were last year? That it legitimately cost them a game or two at least. New kicker, new punter, and a full-time special teams coordinator. My answer to that question would be yes. I think they will be better. Can they find, now how good? Can they find a way to make special teams an actual weapon for them? That we don't know. But as long as Nebraska has their head above water, stays even on special teams, they will be better than they were last year. They can't have it cost them that much. And I think they possess the tools to get to that point. So that's arrow up. The schedule. As much as I don't want to talk about the schedule because I think people kind of take it the wrong way. Hey, look, here's what you have on the schedule. It is easier than they had it last year. It's really tough at the end. They got to get some wins out of the way early or before they hit that back end of the stretch they finish with Michigan, Wisconsin, and Iowa. Obviously not easy. But there's a chance to get some wins right out of the gate. Instead of playing Michigan, Michigan State, and Ohio State in your crossover, it is now Michigan, Rutgers, and Indiana. That's better. No debating that. Now, I'm not saying any of those individually are guaranteed wins, but the schedule is a little bit more on their side this year. Then you have to figure out how much that's worth. And then there's the coaching piece of it. Even if their team talent is a little bit worse, they're a little bit worse on the defensive line, really the defensive side of the ball. But they can get a little bit more efficient on the offensive side of the ball, and that comes down to coaching for the most part. A changing quarterback is significant there as well. This one's TBD for me, but there is real reason to believe that that piece of it could get better. So you're adding it up in your head and you're comparing it to last year. And I almost think, as this conversation goes on, I almost think that you have to kind of leave last year out. You almost can't compare it that much. Now, I don't want to forget about some of the atrocities of the last couple years here, because those matter, and you can't forget about those. But it was pretty unique. So I'll say this. It is possible, if not likely, that Nebraska could have what I would deem to be a worse football team and find a way to win double the amount of games. And that's just crazy to think about. And that's kind of where I'm at right now. Now, how it comes together, how all those things that I just talked about come together, and the degree to which those improve from last year, that'll be where you end up. That's why my base is at 6, with the chance to go higher or lower depending on how those things come together. Is that fair?
Yeah, until I see there's some exceptional talent that I did not anticipate. They're running this offense in a way that I did not anticipate. Yeah, I think 6 is about as high as you could go. 7's fine. You think they're going 7? That's fine. I'm not going to argue about that with you.
It's May 6th.
Yeah.
So we talked to this. We talked about this with Parker the last time we had him on the show, and ultimately the biggest question is we talk about the roster and what are they going to do to fill holes here and this and that, and what that looks like. That's obviously really important. But ultimately the biggest question is how the coaches kind of come together. And how does the head coach deal with the changes? And how much responsibility is he relinquishing? Like, what is his job?
Let me run through a game day, and then I can assess some of this stuff. Like, is Frost changing calls?
Yeah, we could probably learn a little bit of that in fall camp, but not until then.
By August, this will be a 10-win team in my eyes. But it's May 6th.
It's funny because May 6th is usually the optimism season.
Very, yeah.
I completely understand the wait and see approach. And then there's the question of this. So you can tweet at us at Happer Show or at Connor Happer on the JTech Instructions on Twitter feed. Justin writes in, do you consider 6-6 enough progress? Hard to think that's what we are fine with at year 5. I've said this before. I think the powers that be very much want to give this a chance. And I mean the new iteration, the Trev Alberts, the Trev Alberts stamped version of Scott Frost. And I know he had the entire season last year, but the changes took place over the offseason as far as the coaching staff is concerned and the reshuffling of responsibilities and all that stuff. I think they want to really give that a chance to work. And how do they do that? They probably give it 2 years. So is 6-6 good enough from our standpoint as a fan base? No. And I think you want to hold them to that as much as you can. At the same time, is it the lesser of all the evils when the other part of it is, hey, this is a hardline business. 6-6 isn't good enough and it's time to go? When we think there's a chance that this is the right combo as far as the coaching staff is concerned, I think you got to find that out throughout the year. They'll be watching closely. They'll be watching really closely.
I think 6 is it's not, like you said, it's not acceptable for the fan base, but I think 6 probably gets him another year.
Right, and that's what we're talking about here. That's the disappointing part about it, because obviously, I mean, they're going into year 5 and we're talking about meeting bare minimum standards and the what it would take to get another year. And I think another year would probably be, now we don't know this yet for sure, but probably be advantageous to the program as far as how they see it.
And I'm sure the caveat would be there, hey, you got 6 last year, you got to get 7 or 8 this year. Like, we can't be rolling the ball back down the hill. We're all up from here on out.
And then the question is, where's that line this year? Is it at 6? Is it lower than 6? Is there wiggle room at 5? Right? So that's where the mystery metric comes into place. The mutually agreed upon metrics, which, hard to say exactly what those are. I don't know. You know it when you see it for me. John tweets in, Johnny the Pig. He says, if he gets 2 years, what happens if he goes 8-4 in year 1 and 6-6 in year 2? Gone.
Yeah, I'd think so. Yeah. Whatever baseline you set for this year, you can't get below it.
I don't know. Okay, I might take back how quickly I just answered that question, but it doesn't have to be like, hey, to infinity and beyond from 8-4. We have to go up and up and up. That buys him some amount of time. It kind of depends on how it goes. But if you feel like there's a real foundation that was set after the 2022 season, yeah, that'll buy some time. But generally speaking, I don't think that's enough. But I would take 8-4 this year. And then figure out where you go from there. All right. Thanks for tweeting in on the JTech Instructions on Twitter feed during that. Let's continue to take your thoughts at all hours of the day, by the way, at Connor Happer. We'll come back with Josh's top 5. Josh, what do we have today?
Top 5 annoying habits of moviegoers.
Good. This is good.
These are the most annoying things you could do in a theater. There's a Marvel movie coming out this weekend. A lot of you may be venturing back to a movie theater for the first time in a while.
There's a Marvel movie this weekend?
Yeah, Doctor Strange.
I'm surprised I haven't heard about this. But what's he? Me and movies.
No comment.
The Blazing Saddles podcast will come out this afternoon.
It will. Connor watched Blazing Saddles. We got thoughts.
I did. We do have thoughts. All right, we'll come back with that. Josh's top 5 next on 1620 The Zone.
Win $5,000 to give your garage a spring makeover, or a $2,500 gift card from Langfeld Overhead Doors. It's the 5K Garage Makeover. Get all the details and enter to win at 1620thezone.com. From Langfeld Overhead Doors and 1620 The Zone.
Join Blur Parties at Hilton Omaha this June as we host a premier college baseball championship tailgate. Experience an all-inclusive full bar and buffet, TV, music, and a variety of tailgate games. Book a corporate tailgate event or just hang out with friends. The best part is we're located on the south side of Charles Schwab Field at the Hilton Omaha. Visit blurparties.com to buy tickets or to find out about sponsorship opportunities. That's blurparties.com, your college baseball and football tailgate destination.
Hustle up, we've got 8 more floors to go before lunch.
Sarusha's window washing business is reaching new heights.
Wipe, and let's roll.
They need more certified cleaners to keep online reviews crystal clear.
Team, I know we're hustling, but watch for streaks. Candace, can you give me a hand over here?
Indeed can help them hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. Our hiring platform instantly connects you with quality candidates whose resumes on Indeed match your job description. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
You're the one who protects the flock, and that requires an eye for detail. Because when safety and well-being are on the line, it's the details that can save lives. Even when no one else is watching, you see everything. Grainger gets you, and we're here for you, and all the ones who get it done with a wide range of safety products and solutions, plus board-certified safety consultants here to answer your questions. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Cards issued by Celtic Bank, member FDIC. Are you the decision maker in your company? Consider this. For the first time in decades, there's a better option for a corporate card and spend management platform. Meet Ramp, the only corporate card and spend management system designed to help you spend less money so you can make more. Most corporate credit cards offer points as incentives, but those points amount to less than their worth in real cash value. Ramp's credit cards offer you cash back, real money in your pocket. Plus, you control who spends what with each vendor. And Ramp's software collects and verifies receipts automatically, which means you'll stop wasteful spending and close your books in hours instead of days. Businesses that use Ramp add up to 3.3% to their bottom line the first year. If you're a decision maker, adding Ramp could be one of the best decisions you've ever made. And now get $250 when you join Ramp for free. Just go to ramp.com/sports. Ramp.com/sports. ramp.com/sports.
Mark your calendars for Saturday, May 14th at 6:30 and get your free tickets today for the annual Creighton Baseball Salute to our military community and First Responders Night presented by Hy-Vee. Spend a night at the ballpark celebrating the heroes in our Omaha community. Planned events include pregame static displays, paratroopers, joint color guard, enlistment ceremony, postgame taps, and a fireworks show presented by Bellino Fireworks. Tickets are available today free of charge by visiting GoCreighton/salute.
Did you know that Kentucky bluegrass isn't from Kentucky? It came from Europe. And what we call Dutch elm disease actually originated in Asia. This is Chuck Monaco with CM's Outdoor, now part of the Ryan Lawn and Tree family. And while you may know us as experts in everything lawn, trees, and landscape, you may not know that we're also experts in pest control. After all, you want to do more than just look at your beautiful lawn. You want to fully enjoy it. A certified CM's and Ryan Pest Control Pro can free your outdoor oasis from ants and spiders, fleas and ticks, rodents, mosquitoes, and more. Our home insect barrier won't let them escape inside either. And unlike other companies, our employee-owner Pest Control Pros are cross-trained in plant science to help make sure that your beautiful and livable landscape stays that way. Visit bestomahaLawn.com for a free estimate. Sign up for our complete Pest Guard Plus annual program, and your first application is free. Enjoy a pest-free summer at bestomahaLawn.com.
Join Great Plains Colon Cancer Task Force for Rhonda's Burpee Challenge, Sunday, May 22nd at CrossFit Hydro Gym, 67th and Center. For more information about Rhonda's battle with colon cancer and to register, go to coloncancertaskforce.org and click Get Involved by May 15th.
Let's get back to the Connor Happer Show on 1620 The Zone.
Here comes the clown.
Quickly, how closely are we following the Johnny Depp situation?
I'm trying to avoid it as much
too.
as possible. Kind of unavoidable at this point.
So yesterday there was a video, and apparently this is all on Court TV. Just all like this is just televised,
wire to wire, gavel to gavel, I guess.
So there's a video that was going around of Amber Heard, and she appeared to be emotional. She was like blowing her nose and then stopped for the camera.
Oh, like every time the camera was off of her, she blew the nose.
There was also some people who were saying that she was like maybe doing cocaine like while on the stand. I don't know if that didn't seem like what I saw from that video, but
and that's why I'm trying to avoid.
There's a lot going on.
A lot of coverage here, because if you're just scrolling through Twitter and reading what your followers or the people you follow think, it's very like it's like a sports event. Like I'm rooting for this side and the other side can bleep themselves. Like it is like SEC football.
From the video that I've seen and from the things that I've seen, she seems like a nut job, but that's just my brief opinion.
I think it's two nut jobs who got into a relationship that ended poorly. Now, yes, both of them have abused the other one, and it does not excuse
Johnny Depp
any
certainly
behaviors.
has some nut jobbiness to him.
Yeah, and they both got a lot of problems, and they ran into each other,
and now they both share a problem.
Yes, very expensive problem.
It is each other.
Yes.
All right, Josh, top 5, which is things that people do that are bad at movie theaters.
Yes, the top 5 toxic traits of moviegoers.
I like this.
So don't do these things when you go to the movies, especially if I see you do it, because I'm not going to say anything to you, but I will complain about it on the radio later.
God, come on. Take forever.
Number 5.
That's what the radio is for. That's what talk radio is for. It's passive aggressive stuff.
If a business wrongs me, I go on the air and I talk about it. I don't handle the situation internally. No, it's not why I got into this business.
I don't expect anything in return or anything like that. Just know that that's what's going to happen.
All right. Number 5, toxic traits of moviegoers. People who bring a blanket to the movie theater.
What's wrong with this?
You're weak. Wear a sweatshirt. maybe, and follow me on this. Don't wear pajama pants outside of the house. Maybe you wear a real pair of pants that keep you warm enough for an air-conditioned movie theater.
Wow.
Know where you're going. It's a movie theater. The air conditioner is going to be cranking. There's going to be 3 fans above you. They're all going to be running. Be smarter. This isn't your living room. You're out in public.
What's wrong? Why is it bothering you?
First of all, there's 2 types of people who bring a blanket to a movie theater.
Cold people
and horny teenagers.
Wow. Well, you think there's some nefariousness going on underneath the blanket?
I do, Connor. I do.
Okay.
I guarantee it.
You guarantee it?
Yeah. There are shenanigans happening under the blanket.
All right.
Put it on the poll.
Okay, it's number 5. Are there shenanigans going on underneath the blanket?
Number 4.
I was sitting next to this fine gentleman yesterday at my screening of Doctor Strange. Guess the trailer guy. Now, he did this a couple of times, but the most blatant one that just really drove me over the edge, and actually is the cause for this entire list. The music swells up, and you see these very tall, very blue creatures riding whatever the
Avatar.
Yep. That is exactly what happened. And I just wanted to go, of course it's Avatar. They're blue people. Gosh.
I'm not gonna lie, I've been that guy before. Now I'm not
Avatar.
I'm not saying it out loud, but okay, that's definitely it right there. What you just did. So
Thor.
Either I guess it, or the title will come up at the end, and I'll say, "Oh,
now
that looks good."
Now this is different from.
This is just dad moves, but yeah.
At the end of every trailer, you turn to the person next to you and you review the movie.
Yeah. You say, I want to see that or I don't want to see that. It's pretty black and white.
Oh, that looks terrible.
Yeah.
Or, ooh, that looks good. You want to go see? Yeah, let's go see that one too.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. That's not what I'm talking about.
Okay.
I'm
good.
talking about
Good.
the trailer starts and the guy goes, that's Thor. This is Thor. Yeah, of course it is. God, everything. Oh my gosh, this guy yesterday. I got to move on.
This is great so far.
3 and 5.
Number 3.
3, 2, 1. I could put in any order, and
So
it's fine.
these are definitively worse than the first 2.
Yes. There's a tier,
And you already seemed a bit peeved about 5. So this is great.
people who come in late to the movie. You know what time the movie starts? It starts at 10. Yes, there are lots of commercials before the trailers, of which there are also a lot.
What if you're in line at
before
the
the movie.
long concession line?
Nope, plan better. I'm in radio. We're on the air at 10. I am here at 10. Be better. Oh, the 16-year-old didn't know how to get the nacho cheese into the basket? That's on you as the moviegoer. Don't walk in 20 minutes after the movie started and like how can you live that way?
Okay, so
how can you live missing the first 10 minutes of a movie?
So what is it about it? Is it the fact that like you can see the door open and the light comes in and it kind of just distracts you?
No, it's actually just the fact of how can you comprehend the movie that you're watching
This has
if you
no
have missed?
effect on you whatsoever.
No, it doesn't. And also, once they sit down, I don't think about it again for the rest of the movie. So it is a very fleeting problem, but it is a problem that I have nonetheless.
Okay, quick sidebar. How do you feel about the movie theaters where they're like taking your order? Like you got the little button there and they come by and bring you your food?
That doesn't bother me.
Okay. So just to be very clear then, it's not about the distraction.
No, it is about the
How
can you live your
judging
life?
other people saying, how do you live this way?
100%.
Okay.
How can you live your life being 30 minutes late to everything? You don't know what happened you missed the whole first act of the movie. You don't know the story. You don't know the setup. You're just coming in like, well, this is something to do for an hour. Why are you here? Why? I don't know.
Awesome.
Here comes number 2.
Talkers.
Yeah, this is natural.
Yeah. 1 and 2, I think everybody knows and everybody agrees upon.
Do not say anything.
Like I'm okay with like a quick little sidebar with somebody, like, but if you are like just, oh man, I know where this is going, like, shut up, get out, go home.
This is what you talk about after. You get together with your group and you ask, hey, when did you figure out the twist? Oh, I figured it out here. Oh, I figured it out there. You don't talk about it during the movie. Oh, I knew that. Yep.
There it is.
I will say in some of the Marvel movies and like the Batman movies too, I don't know, like there will be something that happens that's significant and the audience will react a certain way and I won't get it. It'll go over my head because I haven't seen the 42 movies that I was supposed to see prior to it. And maybe I'll ask somebody next to me like, hey, who's that again? Or what? Why are people oohing on at this?
I would allow that.
Okay.
Like, I think, especially with Marvel movies and how far into Marvel we are, like, it's not Iron Man popping up. It's not a commonly known character popping up. It is somebody that and I don't say this negatively, only the nerds know about. It's okay to be a nerd. Nerds are cool. Nerds will inherit the earth.
Okay. I'm curious about number 1.
Okay. It's not that hard. You can figure it out. Toxic trait of moviegoers.
Is it the clappers?
I do love that commercial, though. Nobody who made the movies here, stop clapping.
Make it so, number 1.
Number 1.
Is it the people who sneak candy into the theater? Wow.
No, I'm okay with that. Sneak your candy in. Bring whatever vittles you want in the theater. That's fine by me. It's expensive. I get that. Another great line from that commercial. What are those Progressive commercials? Are they Geico commercials?
Yeah, I think Geico.
Where,
be like your parents.
Yeah. Great series of commercials.
Now you don't have to say anything. We know it's expensive.
Yeah. Expertly written and acted commercials.
I will say it every single time. Though.
Yeah.
Are you serious? It costs $8 for a fountain soda now?
But it's a 5-gallon drum of cola. Like, it's fine.
Yeah.
The number 1 toxic trait of moviegoers, it's the cell phone.
For sure.
You want to
great call.
You want to whip it out. You want to text. You want to.
Whoa!
That was number 5. That was blanket. You want to take your phone out. You want to check something. That's fine.
No.
But there's people like
it's not fine.
There are people that are just
doing
business, conducting business on their phones during a movie. And my new problem, this has evolved to the watch. The watch lights up, and I don't think anyone knows how to turn that off.
Yeah, there's nothing you could do about that.
Yeah.
Well, there probably is, but people don't want to go through the hassle of it.
So the watch lights up, and I'm like, oh, this person. And if you think the movie's boring, leave. If it's not giving you if it does not bring you joy to where you need to pull out your cell phone, because again, you're not at home.
Hey, I'm with you.
Go home.
I'm with you.
Go home.
This is a good number 1.
Spend the $20 to rent the movie at home.
No, I would also say this. Don't do it at home either. Just get lost in the movie for 2 hours.
You'll be fine. Okay. If she loves you, she'll wait 2 hours to text you back. Okay. It's
so fine. if I had this, but I would amend it for like it's not just at the movie theaters. Now, I don't think I've ever seen anybody fall asleep at the movie theater.
I have.
But if we're watching a movie together and you fall asleep, I'm not talking to anybody in particular.
I feel like you are.
But there's only one person I really watch movies with.
Uh-huh.
I'm offended. I get really, really offended, especially if it's like my movie pick. It's like we're going to watch this movie.
Uh-huh.
We're going to watch this movie.
And then that person says, let's do that.
Like, this is not your night light. This is not your excuse to like, oh, I'm going to wind down and whenever I fall asleep. No. I don't even understand how that's possible, to be honest with you.
Oh, let me tell you, I fall asleep a lot. Like a lot.
I don't like it.
My wife will tell you.
So what, you go back later and watch them?
Yeah, if I was into the movie but just happened to fall asleep because first, I don't take care of myself in any way, shape, or form. I have a child, I have a job,
excuses,
and I just don't sleep well to begin with.
You got a bunch of excuses.
Yeah, no, that's fair. Like, I fall asleep a lot. If I'm into it, I'll go back. If not, maybe I'll read the wiki. Like,
I received a text from a friend of mine who says, I will wholeheartedly admit that I fell asleep in the theater during the Joaquin Phoenix Joker movie, which seems literally impossible.
That one, yeah. I'll bet I know what woke you up.
A loud noise toward the end?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Josh, great top 5. Thank you.
Thank you. I was a little worried about it going in. I'm glad you were so receptive to it.
Nice job. If anybody has anything they'd like to add to the list, I'm sure Josh has opinions on things. I mean, Josh, you've been to so many movies, you have seen it all.
I have, and the only time I ever see another person at the movie theater is during a Marvel movie, and it was pretty busy last night.
Interesting.
A lot of these boxes were checked last night.
So you're looking at the people who go to Marvel movies and like, you're not movie goers. You just like Marvel. And you're offended by this.
I don't want to say yes because it makes me sound like a snob, but
it for sure does.
But yeah, it does. I'm like a hipster.
Just say
almost.
You're a movie snob. It's okay.
You're not here. You're not here every week. I am.
Yeah.
This is my building. I'm here every week. You're a Johnny come lately to this.
Just say you're a movie snob. It's okay.
I'm a movie snob.
You can be that.
I like all movies, but I'm a bit of a snob. Yes.
All right. Josh the Snob with his top 5 on things you should not do around Josh at movie theaters.
Yeah.
It's a good list today.
Thank you.
If you have anything else, tweet at Happer Show. We'll come back with Sipple, unemployed Sipple. What's he doing? Is he growing out his beard? We'll find out next here on 1620 The Zone.
Live from the Host Coffee Studio, this is 1620 The Zone.
Shop Lanahaw Nurseries for all your mulch needs. Best quality mulch at the best price. You'll notice our prices are lower than anybody else's. That's because you're buying your mulch straight from where it's made. Convenient delivery or pickup. Lanahaw Nurseries, 192nd and Center.
For unmatched cardiac expertise, put your heart in the right place with Nebraska Medicine, where you'll find the most heart advances in the state. Telehealth appointments to make your care even more convenient, and a genetics clinic to help avoid future heart issues. With multiple locations, our world-leading care is just a heartbeat from home. For matters of the heart, this is where you begin. Visit nebraskamed.com/heart.
Home is with you wherever that may be.
DQ presents the sound of an all-star summer lineup. Leading off, the promising rookie, new Oreo Dirt Pie. On deck, the fan favorite Girl Scout Thin Mints. Summer standouts, Drumstick with peanuts and cotton candy. And batting cleanup, it's you. With your red spoon and 6 summer blizzard flavors, official treat of MLB. All part of the new DQ All-Star Summer Blizzard lineup. DQ? Happy tastes good.
UNO Mavericks baseball is ready. May 13th through the 15th, the Mavericks host conference rival Oral Roberts at Tal Anderson Field, and there are exciting promotions all weekend long. Tickets are available. Go to omavs.com/ticks or call 402-554-6287 to get your tickets now.
Saturday the 14th is the Athletic Director Picnic at 3 in Lot 26 of Maverick Park. Food trucks, music, and fun for the whole family. Even meet AD Adrian Dowell and Mavericks head coaches.
Hi guys, it's Andrew with Brookside Medical Clinic. Is erectile dysfunction damaging your relationship? Are you sick of the pill and all the side effects? Well, welcome to the future. We have a major medical breakthrough. Brookside Medical Clinic uses the most advanced form of wave therapy. Backed by 60 clinical studies, our technology uses pressure waves to repair and open up blood vessels. We've helped countless men get rid of their ED. But what is the true end result? Their relationship, even their lives, improve drastically. If you're ready to regain your love life, call us right now, and not only will the assessment and ultrasound be free, we'll also give you a gift that produces immediate results in the bedroom. It almost never fails. This is worth $550, and it's free to callers right now. 402-671-7777. That's 402-671-7777. Put a stop to your erectile dysfunction and experience what I call the happiness ripple effect. Call Brookside Medical Clinic now. 402-671-7777.
Paid for by Herbster for Nebraska.
Critical race theory. We don't want it in our schools.
So why did Jim Pillen support it over and over again?
Jim Pillen approved a whole new department at the University of Nebraska, focused on critical race theory.
The vice chancellor Pillen chose to run the department? He praised violent race riots on the University of Nebraska website. So how did Jim Pillen respond?
He voted to triple the diversity chancellor's budget. Your tax dollars used to teach CRT.
University courses, classes, and seminars on race, privilege, white fragility, and critical whiteness studies.
No matter what Jim Pillen says now, as a regent, he voted to support the teaching of critical race theory for years.
Jim Pillen didn't stand up to critical race theory before. Can we really trust him now?
You can join us every week for the Sharp and Betting podcast. It's Sharp and Betting. We got a podcast driven by our good friends at Woodhouse Auto Family.
Yeah, the cool thing about it is we'll get more in depth on a lot of your favorite topics, have a guest or two, and just might drop some nuggets of information that you've never heard before.
Wherever you get your podcasts, just look for Sharp and Betting. We got a podcast driven by Woodhouse Auto Family each Friday. You can find it on the Sharp and Betting show page on 1620thezone.com. At Sharp and Betting, we got a podcast.
If your son or daughter needs to sharpen their skill on the hardwood this summer, check out Going Vertical's 3-on-3 Developmental League. For grades kindergarten through 8th, this 12-week league will get your child elite coaching and develop skills that will have them ready for the school year. Their coaches will give your players specialized attention and let them participate in the world's fastest growing Olympic sport, 3-on-3 basketball. This league will get them out of the house this summer and make some new friends along the way. Check out goingverticalomaha.com to register today.
Shop Woodhouse Place Hyundai and Nissan, 144th and Giles. KOZN, Bellevue, Omaha, Council Bluffs.
All right, back here on the Connor Average Show, 1620 The Zone, 1620thezone.com. We're now joined by Steve Sipple, who just does a 2-hour morning radio show and nothing else now. Hello, Sipple.
For the time being, Happer, how are you doing?
Pretty good. How was your last day yesterday?
It was a lot. It wasn't easy. Leaving somewhere after 33 years is complicated, and it was pretty taxing, I would say. But it was a really good. I mean, I really appreciate the Lincoln Journal-Star. It was a really nice send off, and it felt good in that I'm not leaving disgruntled, and they're happy. I mean, they're not happy I'm leaving, but
I was gonna say you were fired in disgrace, so that's not true.
I was not fired in disgrace. That could have happened a few times, but not in this instance. So no, everything's good. It was rough, though. I would say rough. Probably rougher than I even anticipated. It was just. I would just say it was a hard April. Like the whole process of leaving was difficult. But yeah, I think people need to understand that I'm not retiring. There's a lot of people. I'm getting a lot of people texting me saying, enjoy your retirement. I'm not retiring. I'll start at my new employer on June 1, and that will be announced around that time. So, yeah, I got a month to kind of reset.
Well,
so thanks for asking, Happer.
You had always talked about this. If you were ever to move on, that maybe the next horizon for you would be a long haul truck driver. So that's not the play.
That's not. No, that's not happening yet. I'm not. I'd never rule that out. But no, that's not the play on June 1. That's not the play on June 1.
Okay. All right, good. Well, we could still talk about. Are you gonna, what are you gonna do this month? Are you gonna go to some movies? Are you gonna,
yeah. You know what? Since you asked, and I don't know, we're in a kind of a slow sports period. The one thing that I don't know if people give a damn about this, but I'm gonna go see Caesar either tonight in Cedar Rapids, and there's some things some strings I have to pull to make it happen, or if I don't do that, I'll go see Caesar on May 25th in Oklahoma City.
Caesar, the band?
Yeah, if I had a favorite band right now outside of like Tom Petty, it'd be Caesar. See, I've been a Caesar fan for 15 years, 20 years probably.
When's the last time Caesar did a song?
They haven't. I mean, they haven't had a lot of new stuff, but they toured a lot. In fact, they were in Lincoln a couple summers ago, and I didn't see them, and I swore that I would go see them now. So that's that. Yeah, they're not turning out new music of any consequence, but they've turned out, a lot of music of consequence over the years.
Interesting. Okay, so maybe a road trip to Cedar Rapids to see Caesar is first on the
tonight, perhaps. Yeah, they're playing tonight, and I can make it work. And I'm, my day's starting to get away from me a little bit if it's going to happen.
Yeah, you would have to leave here pretty shortly.
No, not really. I mean, it's 4. I can get there in 4 hours, and I know that area really well.
Okay. All right. Well, we'll keep an eye on what's next out there for Sipple over the next month. I'm sure, but we're going to keep doing this interview, right? And all the way up until June 1st, and then we're going to keep doing it then, right?
Yeah, there's no reason not.
Okay.
There's no real reason not to. I'm not going on any exotic trips or anything like that.
Oh, don't you have your vacation coming up soon? Aren't you going somewhere out of the country?
No, I'm not going anywhere out of the country. The closest out of the country I go is Cedar Rapids. No, I'm not. I don't have any major. It's possible I might slip down to Florida to see my brother. I don't know if anybody cares about any of this. I have a brother in Florida. I may go down there, but I don't have any hard plans. It's been, like I said, all this has been sort of fluid, and I don't need to go anywhere.
All right. I know it's like pulling teeth for you, so we'll let you stop talking about yourself now. But
yeah, I'm not big on that.
But so on that, this last 24 hours must have been hell for you in a lot of different ways because you've been forced to talk about yourself a lot. But another time, congratulations! What a run at the Journal-Star! Awesome job. We still look forward to your radio show, and then of course whatever is next, Sipple. We're
yeah, I appreciate that. I don't mind hearing that, Happer. And you've always been loyal and good to me, and I don't ever. Please don't think I ever take that for granted.
I always say this, not to get too sentimental or anything like that, because we're going to keep doing this. But it's a good time to tell. Anytime's a good time to tell people how much you appreciate them. I think I've always told you this. You, and maybe you've heard it a lot over the last 24 hours. But one of the things that I appreciate most about you is that you always accept the younger people who are kind of coming in and work their way kind of around the media. And that, like, you have no idea how much that means. It means a lot to someone who's just trying to figure things out, maybe needs the guts to like ask a question or something like that. And you're always like, hey, who are you? What's going on? What do you know about? You've always been that for everybody who's come in and out of the Lincoln market.
Well, I hope so. I don't, I'm probably not perfect in any regards, but I don't know. Some of it you got to give yourself credit. You present yourself well. I don't know if I ever thought I needed to like take you under a wing or anything. You knew what you were doing, and some of it is that. I mean, the people who come in here are good usually.
Yeah.
So I'm interested. So yeah, I appreciate you saying that though.
All right, Sipple, we can get on with it then. So
get on with it.
when you pull the whole thing apart, and it's not over. Nebraska's still looking in the transfer portal on the defensive line, maybe another spot on the back end of the defense as well. But Drew Mathis over the last week have been huge ads for Nebraska. Where do you think it ended up on the defensive side of the ball when you put all of it together? I was talking about this with BC earlier. I was really pretty worried, I think, before spring ball started about where things were, and certainly after last season and with all the loss that you had. But you've filled gaps okay. We'll see how it works out. But I feel okay about the way that they've kind of addressed their needs on the defensive side of the ball.
Oh yeah, I'm a little. I think you have to make a distinction right now, and I think it's an interesting distinction. I think they have fortified the pass rush to a point where at least I'm intrigued by it. I think that when you talk about having O'Shawn Mathis lined up on third down with Garrett Nelson and Caleb Tanner and Ty Robinson, say what you will about those guys. Garrett Nelson showed last year at times that he can be trouble for Big Ten offensive lines. I am a big Caleb Tanner fan. If he doesn't have to put his hand in the dirt and beat a 6'7", 320-pound tackle,
yeah.
And in that configuration, he's more of probably an outside linebacker than just pure right on hand in the dirt guy. If you can use him in a more creative manner, I think Caleb Tanner's his motor's great, his athleticism's great, he's ferocious. If you put those three out there and turn them loose to get to the quarterback, I think it might look pretty good. It might look real good. They're veteran players. They're ready for it. And now, will they get the third down though? I mean, or will it always be third and short? Can they stop the run? And that's the distinction. I don't know that still. And come on, in that division, that's what you got to do. You got if Minnesota will run it at you 6 straight times if they can, 5 straight times, whatever. I mean, we all know what Braylon Allen's capable of doing because he averaged 10 yards per carry on 20-plus last year. If you can't stop Braylon Allen, O'Shawn Mathis doesn't matter, really, right?
Yeah.
And if I'm in the Big Ten getting ready for Nebraska right now, my mindset is I'm going to try to make O'Shawn Mathis inconsequential. We're not going to worry about it because we're just going to run it at him. So that would be, if I were Eric Shenander, I would be some of my motivation every day would be to make O'Shawn Mathis real consequential this year. But how are you going to do that? You got to be at third and long, third and medium, and that's going to be the challenge.
Yeah, I mean, I think with the way it looks right now, and they'll maybe add another body or two. They're good. Creative is the word that I would use. I don't think that's the worst thing in the world for Eric Shenander. Now, it's not an enviable position to be in because it's not like you have your kind of answers at all the spots like you did last year with all the experience they had across the ball. But Shenander, I think, kind of likes this spot where they can come up with creative ways to patch what they're not good at.
Well, that's hard to do in the Big Ten. But yeah, Eric is good. I mean, he knows what he's doing. But you can be good and know what you're doing. I thought Bo Pelini was good, knew what he was doing. But what happened when he got up against a team that could just pound it at him? He had no answers. I mean, I hate to say that, but there was times where, I mean, I can remember a pretty specific time in Madison, Wisconsin on a snowy day when he had 0 answers, right?
Yep.
If you don't have the personnel, it doesn't matter how creative you are if you don't have the personnel. And Bo, they had some deficiencies that Wisconsin exploited that day that any amount of scheming couldn't have probably stopped. So, hey, what it comes down to, Hap, they got to go back in the portal, probably get another interior lineman, which they're trying to do. And that's a priority. Offensive tackle's a priority. They're far from done. And you know what, Happer? I wouldn't be surprised if there's a surprise out there still. I've heard enough that I'd watch it pretty close.
As far as an exit?
No, I think there's, I wouldn't be surprised if there's a skill player out there that they're looking.
Oh, okay.
They're not. Hey, they're aggressive. They're very aggressive in that. And they feel like they have to be.
With that in mind, are you surprised that they haven't taken another look at? I mean, maybe they are, and that's part of what you're referencing. But are you surprised they haven't taken another look at the offensive line, given what we kind of saw in the spring, or are they just really?
No, they are.
Okay,
they are. They're looking for a tackle.
Yeah,
they're looking for an offensive tackle. There's no doubt about that. I don't mind saying it. They wouldn't care if I said it. They're looking for an offensive tackle in the portal. Where the surprise, that wouldn't be the surprise. The surprise to a lot of people, I think, would be if they went and got a skill player at a certain position or two, and that's what I wouldn't rule it out. I mean, I don't think they just feel like we can stand pat really anywhere. Well, I wouldn't say anywhere, but I don't know. There's not many positions you could point at Happer and say, yeah, they wouldn't take a good guy there.
For sure.
I mean, that's so. I still think there could be some surprises there.
Yeah, isn't it kind of best available mode out there? If there's somebody out there they feel like could help them, you take them at this point because you're trying to get there as close as you can.
Yeah, I don't want to be irresponsible or suggest anybody's being irresponsible. I don't want to be irresponsible. I don't think you just operate willy-nilly with the portal, but yeah, there is that overarching conversation about always trying to improve your roster and foster competition, and the portal at this time of year does allow you to do that. So yeah, I mean, I shouldn't say any position. Like, I don't know what good you do right now bringing in a portal running back, unless it was a guy who ran for 1,200 yards in a Power 5 situation. But
you're okay there.
I mean, there's limits to the conversation, but I would just suggest that they are far from done. I mean, they're very active.
Yep. Well, there's going to be kind of another wave here with guys, graduate guys, I think, going in the portal, and that's, I mean, they wouldn't mind more experience, that's for sure.
Yeah, it's okay. I mean, this is all falls in line with what Scott Frost outlined, and not outlined, but I just go back to that press conference, and I believe it was November when he said the words, "We're going to try to push this over the hump with guys from the transfer portal and JUCOs." I say that, I remind people of that all the time. This was the plan. This was, and I would say right now, he's executed the plan very well in terms of bringing in coaches and what they've done in the portal. They've put themselves in a pretty good position, I think, to make a move here. And now it's all about, can they execute it, and at what level can they execute it? So, we're heading into a very fascinating season.
Yeah, I think we are as well, Sipple. All right, appreciate the time as always. We'll talk next week. Good luck. Have fun wherever you go over the next couple weeks here. But maybe you'll end up at the Seether concert. I'd like to see a picture on Twitter of that.
Maybe I will. All right, I'll send you one if that's the case.
All right.
Okay.
Perfect.
All right.
Thanks, Sip.
See you there.
Steve Sipple of his own whatever. Hey, I might go to Cedar Rapids and catch a Seether show.
Steve Sipple LLC. He's going to have a fun summer. I know it's really only like 6 weeks, but
no, it's just till June 1.
Oh, 3 weeks.
Yeah, he's got 3 weeks to go wherever he'd like. You might see him pop up in Florida. You might see him pop up in Cedar Rapids. Just watch out. Be anywhere. All right. Thanks, Sipple, for joining us. And I mean what I said wholeheartedly. He's been very, very good about kind of welcoming people in. He's a pretty genuine guy. So congratulations to him on the run at the Journal-Star, and you'll see more of him going forward. All right. We'll come back. We'll make our predictions for the weekend. We have the Derby. We have local baseball. We have some NBA. We're not talking about the USFL anymore. So we don't have that.
It is happening, but we're not talking about it.
All right. More up next on 1620 The Zone.
Previously on Unsportsmanlike Conduct.
He makes fun of us for saying weird words, and then he was a jammies boy over here.
Jammies is a common phrase. Straubs is not a common phrase.
Then you're saying it. Friesies and jammies are fine. John said it.
No, I did not say that. I have heard jammies for a long time. You talk to your little kids.
You should say Straubs to your little kids.
No!
Or
A, I don't have little kids, and B, I'm never going to be that dumb.
Unsportsmanlike Conduct with John Bishop and Josh Peterson. Weekdays 2 to 6 on 1620 The Zone. Your Omaha area forecast from Canoyer Garden Center and KETV Newswatch 7 on 1620 The Zone.
We'll finally see some sunshine Friday with partly mostly cloudy skies. Watch out for some fog early on, mainly south and west of the metro. Comfortable and calm in the afternoon with highs in the mid to upper 60s. More sunshine, breezy, and warmer on Saturday with highs in the mid 70s. I'm meteorologist Sean Everson from KETV Newswatch 7.
The Connor Happer Show returns in minutes on 1620 The Zone.
If you're passionate about coffee, you should consider a career at Host Coffee as a valued service technician to install, repair, and rebuild state-of-the-art commercial coffee, iced tea, espresso, juice, cappuccino machines, and water coolers. Apply today and join our team at hostcoffee.net/careers.
Do you know the common signs of transmission trouble?
Your engine revs before falling into gear. Shifting is rough, or you're leaking reddish-brown fluid.
Knowing the signs could mean repair instead of replace.
That's where we come in. We're certified transmission.
The job done right at the right price.
Choose the 9 days you want to come to Warner Park with the Chasers Gold Pack. Come enjoy bobblehead and replica jersey giveaways, fireworks, fans and brews, dollar beer nights, and more. Learn more at OmahaStormChasers.com.
French food, and not just small portions and high prices. Les Voltaire is anything but. Come visit Omaha's own little corner of France for mouth-watering appetizers and entrees, plus melt-in-your-mouth desserts. Dinner with friends, special occasions, entertaining clients, or just chilling with French wines and craft cocktails with your favorite someone. Les Voltaire will make you feel right at home, just like they've been doing for more than 2 decades. Les Voltaire just off 156th and West Dodge Road in the Pepperwood Village, and at lesvoltaireomaha.com.
When it comes to cement fiber siding, you want durability, hail and chip resistance, and beauty. You want James Hardy cement fiber siding. Carp's Complete Home Exteriors is an elite preferred James Hardy contractor. Call Carp's today or visit carpsomaha.com.
It's more than a spicy adult beverage. It's a way to help the families of Ronald McDonald House. The Omaha West Rotary Club brings you the Bloody Mary Fest, June 5th, from noon to 3 at Werner Park. Local restaurants and bars show off their best recipes and designs for everyone's favorite Sunday Fun Day drink while they compete for prizes. There's live music with Echo and a chance to win valuable prizes for you, too. Buy your tickets now at OmahaBloodyMaryFest.com. Get your tickets and support families who stay at Ronald McDonald House.
A message from the National Police Association. It used to be that any able-bodied person would offer to assist a police officer in danger. Now, passers-by are more likely to take a video. There's a better use for your phone when an officer's in trouble. Call 911. Tell the operator where you are and what you see. Then, start your video to provide evidence later. To learn more about how you can assist law enforcement, visit nationalpolice.org. That's nationalpolice.org.
Did you know that generic drugs are just as safe and effective as brand name drugs? Generics might look different, but they work the same way. And they can even save you money. Don't believe me? Ask your doctor or pharmacist. Or visit fda.gov/generic drugs.
Equitable Bank. We take banking personally. EquitableOnline.com.
The Kentucky Derby tomorrow on NBC. You can watch the 72 hours of pre-race coverage for the 2 minutes of racing if you'd like, or you could just jump in at 5:57.
Every year I go, okay, this is like, it gets to be about 5:30, and I'm like, you know what? It's probably close enough. And every year they're not even in the stable yet.
But they're going to the stable.
They're walking.
They're walking.
Parade of jockeys.
The Kentucky Derby is probably one of those things that it's such a unique sporting event. And for some reason, we still care about it as a society. Like nothing. Like I think it's really fun. There obviously is a reason, but it's like an outdated thing that we still find a way to make time for every year. It has its own weekend, right? It's kind of part of our sports watching culture.
First Saturday in May, you kind of
Yeah.
you kind of remember that.
Unless it was that one year when it was in September.
I've seen a Triple Crown winner now, so the shine has come off the event a little bit.
I would want to go.
Oh,
I would want to wear.
yeah.
I would want to wear a big hat
and
a weird suit, and I would want to go to the Kentucky Derby. Place a bunch of bets on a bunch of things. Find a way to lose a bunch of money and be at the Kentucky Derby with like 100,000+ of my best friends who have the same interests in mind. I think Schaefer went a couple years ago, and there's this picture of him without a beard, and he's got one of the weird suits on.
Oh wow,
that is he's tweeted it out before. It's quite disturbing actually. But you would want to go because it tends to be either perfect weather or miserable rain, mud everywhere.
Yeah. It's never in between.
Yeah, you want to go on the nice day if you can. I don't know what the weather looks like for Louisville tomorrow. But it's always a better product when it's not muddy and sludgy. All right, the odds. Zandon 3-1.
7% chance of rain tomorrow.
All right, so we're gonna be okay.
Yeah.
Zandon 7-1. Epicenter 7-2. Messier 8-1. Got a couple 10-1s. White Abario 10-1. And then it jumps a little bit 12-1. Tabia. I'm just gonna mirror my guy Alan Bell, who joined us earlier in the week.
Usually a good thing to do.
Yep. He gave us the top 4 of Epicenter, Zandon, Cyberknife, and Barber Road. Cyberknife, by the way, is a 20-1 pick.
Ooh.
And Barber Road is a 30-1 pick.
Now
that's to win the whole thing.
There's no Bob Baffert horse this year.
No.
So everything's on the up and up.
He's canceled.
Yeah, every horse has a chance now. I like Cyberknife. It's a great name. I'll take Cyberknife.
Josh will take Cyberknife. Give me Epicenter at 7-2, the number 3 horse to win the Kentucky Derby. Why? I don't know, because Alan Bell told me.
That's a good reason.
That's exactly why.
Let him do the research. That's fine.
Okay. Here's a question for predictions. Does someone get eliminated in the NBA this weekend? The Mavs and the Sixers are both down 2-0 going into tonight, and then game 4s on Sunday. Still no word on Joel Embiid, although I believe he has cleared the protocol.
He has. They have made him a mask. All signs point to him giving it a go tonight. They have not confirmed that. It might be one of those, hey, let's do the warm up, see how you feel tonight, and we'll put you in at the last second.
He's got a screwed up finger. He's got a broken face.
Yeah.
And he's recovering from a concussion. He's going to give it a go. I've gained a lot of respect for Joel Embiid during this time.
Yeah, and he's got a beard-shaped anchor around his neck in James Harden.
I despised the last 2 games, or the last game when it was just James Harden by himself trying to recreate his Houston Rockets tenure. Oh, I forgot how much I hated that.
Trying to get that foul call that they're just not giving him anymore.
It was not fun. And he's the worst part about it is he's not nearly as explosive as he was like 3 years ago.
Yeah, he's lost a step.
So he's like attempting to do the same thing and get these fouls called, and it's just not working, and it's really, really ugly.
It's bad basketball to watch.
It was bad basketball at the time in Houston.
Well, yeah.
And now it's really, really bad. So we need Joel Embiid to come back just to save us from all of that. Do the Mavs get swept out of I don't think the Sixers will, because I think the Sixers will get Embiid back, and that's enough to steal one of the two this weekend.
Yep, I think that'll be a gentleman's sweep. I think the Mavs will get swept. Actual swept.
I think the Mavs are gone after Sunday.
Yeah. Unless they can get like 50 from Luka at home tonight. And which is possible.
That's the path.
It is possible, but he is clearly all alone in Dallas.
Mm-hmm. I'm with you. I think the Mavs get swept out. Local baseball teams time. All right, Nebraska, 6-9 in the Big Ten, RPI 178 at Minnesota, 2-13 in the Big Ten, RPI 243. Creighton at UConn, 11-1 in the Big East. Or I'm sorry, 10-2 in the Big East, RPI 97. UConn 11-1 in the Big East, RPI 45. Obviously, this is probably going to decide the Big East this weekend. And Omaha at home, the one team at home this weekend against South Dakota State. They're 7-6, RPI 241, UNO 10-5 in the Summit with the RPI of 195. I will set the line. Combined wins for our local baseball teams at 5.5.
You're really good. You're a really good line setter. I'm gonna go under. I'm sorry.
No.
I'm sorry.
So
I want to believe.
Who screws us here? Is it Nebraska?
I think Nebraska gets 2. I think Creighton gets. I think Creighton's gonna get 1.
Mm.
And then I'll give Omaha 2.
Give me over. I think Nebraska does what they're supposed to do this weekend. And I think they win all 3.
I hope so.
I think they win all 3 in Minnesota. They look, and that's not out of nowhere. They've played well. They played better last weekend against Iowa. They ran into a buzzsaw on Friday with a really good, top couple round draft pitcher. And then obviously shellacked them in the first game of Saturday doubleheader and then lost close. Like they've been playing better lately. It seems like they're kind of getting into a groove, and Minnesota, I think, comes onto the schedule at exactly the right time. So I think you find a way to get all 3 this weekend. Nebraska sweeps and they go 9-9, and they're on path to make it to Omaha. Omaha, they can get 2, and I think Creighton can as well.
I really hope
this is going to be an over for me, and I think it's either 6 or 7 wins.
I hope Creighton can go into Connecticut and steal a couple. That'd be great. Sure, Stores isn't the toughest place to play. Just a hunch.
You don't think they're rocking out there? Hey, UConn's a pretty historically good baseball program.
They're back.
George Springer a few years ago.
Yeah, that's right.
Made a bit of a run. They were one of the hats on the wall when I went hat shopping during the College World Series a few years ago.
There's always some random hats just in case.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Give me over 5.5 wins combined for the local baseball teams this weekend. I think it's a good weekend for local baseball. Is there anything else that we missed?
I don't think so. WNBA starts this weekend. You want to give us a?
I have no predictions. Who's the favorite?
WNBA
odds.
The Connecticut Sun were favored in the FanDuel.
Yeah, it appears as if the Connecticut Sun are the favorite, followed by the Las Vegas Aces.
They got a good squad.
The Seattle Storm.
That's my pick. They're running it back
Why do you like Seattle?
They're running it back one more time with Sue Bird. I think that she gets the storybook ending to a impressive career.
I don't have a pick. I'm sorry.
Okay, that's fine. We're just brainstorming. No bad ideas.
All right, we'll come back. We will have the poll questions. We'll tell you what to watch tonight. Then we'll cross things over with John and Josh, who are out at Warner Park getting ready for some baseball tonight. All coming up in the final few minutes of the Connor Happer Show at 1620 The Zone.
For the Jays, the Huskers, and even you Jayskers, we are 1620 The Zone.
Searching for a new to you car, truck, or SUV? Shop Woodhouse first. Over 1,000 pre-owned vehicles, all makes, all models, in stock and on the lot. Plus, confidence comes standard when you purchase a pre-owned car, truck, or SUV from Woodhouse. With our multi-point inspection, transparent pricing, available add-on warranties, and financing options, purchasing a pre-owned vehicle has never been simpler. Experience the difference and drive away confident and road-ready in your new vehicle from Woodhouse.
Love getting prices that are lower than low on food that's fresher than fresh? Then shop at Baker's. We give you more ways to save on the fresh you love with tools like the Baker's app, where you can find personalized coupons on top of weekly sales, giving you prices that are lower than the everyday low. Baker's, fresh for everyone.
Get more ways to save at the Buy 5 or More Save $1 each sale. Just buy 5 or more participating items and save $1 each with card. Baker's, fresh for everyone.
You're the one who protects the flock, and that requires an eye for detail. Because when safety and well-being are on the line, it's the details that can save lives. Even when no one else is watching, you see everything. Grainger gets you, and we're here for you, and all the ones who get it done with a wide range of safety products and solutions, plus board-certified safety consultants here to answer your questions. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along, which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate through the site within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free. Just go to this exclusive web address, ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Mark your calendars for Saturday, May 14th at 6:30 and get your free tickets today for the annual Creighton Baseball Salute to our military community and First Responders Night presented by Hy-Vee. Spend a night at the ballpark celebrating the heroes in our Omaha community. Planned events include pregame static displays, paratroopers, joint color guard, enlistment ceremony, postgame taps, and a fireworks show presented by Bellino Fireworks. Tickets are available today free of charge by visiting GoCreighton/salute.
I always wanted to learn Spanish, but I never thought I'd have the time. Then I discovered Babbel.
Babbel's lessons are fun. They only take like 10 or 15 minutes, and in 3 weeks, presto, you're speaking another language, like magic.
I love that Babbel's lessons aren't just robots talking. They're voiced by native speakers, so you get the pronunciation just right.
If you want to learn a language, there's no faster, easier, better way than
Babbel.
Babbel.
Babbel. Go to Babbel.com to try for free. That's BABBEL.com. Babbel.com.
We put our lives on the line for our country. We braved the unknown. We did what we were told. And we lit up. Our cigarette packs were as valuable as the packs on our back. Maybe more. At one point, cigarettes were part of our daily ration. Smoke 'em if you got 'em. And boy, we were smoking 'em. Bumming a smoke was the norm. It was an escape from the reality of dirt, sweat, and forgetting how many days you were so far from home. Never had to worry so long as you had a light and the smoking lamp was lit. If that was you then, get your lungs screened now. Surviving lung cancer starts with a scan. Learn more at screenyourlungs.org. And thank you for your service. This PSA was made possible by industry funding and guidance from lung cancer patient groups.
I first got to know Charles when he was one of my earliest supporters and made him the chair of my agriculture advisory committee. You have the chance to elect a die-hard MAGA champion as your governor, Charles W. Herbster.
I promise you, as the governor, I will make Nebraska great again.
Charles W. Herbster, a good man. Get everyone you know and vote for Charles W. Herbster.
Paid for by Herbster for Nebraska. Paid for by Herbster for Nebraska.
As America finally moves towards ending abortion, Charles W. Herbster knows governors must take the next step. Just like President Donald J. Trump delivered on his promises, Charles W. Herbster will protect the unborn.
We will protect innocent life, and we will proudly uphold the Judeo-Christian values of our nation's founding.
Endorsed by President Trump, trusted to fight for pro-life conservative values, Charles W. Herbster, Governor.
All right, final couple minutes here on the Connor Happer Show, 1620 The Zone, 1620thezone.com. Don't forget to join John and Josh this evening out at Warner Park. It's Star Wars night. We're going to go see a Star War. Be out and about tonight at Warner Park. John and Josh will be at the Stormfront Team Store, 6:35, I believe, is the first pitch this evening. I'll be out there eventually.
Eventually?
Yeah, I don't know what time. Probably like 5, something like that.
Oh, okay. You're not going to stroll in like in the third inning and
No,
be like,
no.
okay, I'm ready for PA.
No. They require me to be there before the game starts.
That's good. That's good of them. That's a well-run organization.
I think so too. I've always said that. I hope everyone enjoys their spring, which will last one day. It is tomorrow. It'll be 75 and sunny tomorrow. And then summer starts on Monday.
I'm going to mow the lawn for the first time this weekend.
Yeah. Really grew out a little bit over the last couple days.
It has,
when we were in Seattle over the last few. So enjoy your spring. Summer starts on Monday. Congratulations for everybody to make it. We did a quick shift straight over to that. All right. Poll questions. To round things out here, you can tweet at Happer Show anytime. Anytime. We only have a couple today.
There are 4, I believe.
Oh yeah, okay. After the All right. Is Ms. Pac-Man a Hall of Fame video game? What did you vote here?
I voted yes.
I'm gonna vote yes as well. It's got enough name brand.
Mm-hmm. It's got cachet.
Got cachet. That's a good word for it. 69% say yes.
Nice.
It is indeed a Hall of Fame video game.
Also inappropriate.
Do you know how to play Minesweeper? The options were no and no.
You're lying. You don't know how to play Minesweeper.
My guess is this is going to be in the neighborhood of 50-50 between top no and bottom no. Oh, bottom no, 59%.
It's a big bottom audience.
It likes the bottom. Which is the best Microsoft computer game? 4 options: Space Pinball, Solitaire, Minesweeper, Other. Give me Space Pinball all day long. 50% of the vote says Solitaire. 1% said Other and didn't leave a comment. So it's just something else.
Just those aren't it. I don't know what is, but I know it's not those 3.
So it went Solitaire, Space Pinball, Minesweeper, and then Other. And finally, are there shenanigans going on underneath that blanket? Josh claims, yes, there are. But that, of course, means you have to know what we were talking about in order to understand this poll question. I'm going to say no.
Wow. Wrong answer.
I believe in. I'm naive, maybe, to this. 87% say yes. Early returns on that one, though.
But overwhelming.
So far. That's for sure.
Insurmountable lead.
Those are the poll questions. Thank you for voting in those today at Happer Show. All right, Josh, what are we watching this weekend?
This weekend, I'm picking tomorrow's slate of basketball games, a little better than the ones we got tonight. 2:30 Saturday, ABC, Celtics at Bucks. And then 7:30 Saturday, ABC, Grizzlies at Warriors.
Those series are both 1-1, and the other 2 are 0-2.
Yeah. And I've got the Derby on my list. 5:57 p.m. tomorrow on NBC. Running of the Roses, open to the public once again.
Horses.
And then there's a lot of baseball on this weekend. You got the Apple TV doubleheader tonight. Sox versus Sox, Rays and Mariners. Got an FS1 doubleheader tomorrow. And Sunday on Peacock and NBC, you're going to see a lot of ads for this during the Derby tomorrow. MLB Sunday leadoff. White Sox versus Red Sox, 10:30 a.m. start time. Local here in the Central Time Zone.
Where is that game being played?
At Fenway.
So 11:30 there at
Mhm.
least.
Which makes a little more sense.
Yeah.
8:30
Gotta be
a.m.
an-
on the West Coast.
Yeah. It's time for the Mariners and Angels at 8:30 in the morning. And the hitter at the plate can't see because the sun's in his eyes. I remember those games as a kid. They would make you play at all hours of the day because that's how they wanted to fit as many games on the field as they could. You played those super early morning games, like 8 o'clock starts. The sun would be in your eye as the hitter, which feels bad.
It does. It
It's
does.
not what you want while you're trying to hit a flying baseball.
And then the Sunday night game is Dodgers at Cubs, which is postponed today. Those are two separate notes, not really having anything to do with each other. There's a Canelo Alvarez fight tomorrow night. If you're a boxing fan, F1 is in Miami.
F1, shout out Nick.
Nick is listening. We know he's a big F1 guy. Sunday, 2:30. Winning Time season finale is Sunday, 8 o'clock on HBO.
Oh, it's season finale already?
Yeah. How will it all end for Jerry Buss, Jerry West, Magic, and Kareem? No one knows.
History will tell us nothing in this because it's a dramatization. I
and-
have a guess that they'll still win the title.
Really?
Yeah.
Bold. Going out on a limb there. And Doctor Strange on Disney Plus. It's also on Sci-Fi Saturday night if you don't have Disney Plus. Not my favorite Marvel movie, not my favorite Marvel character, but it is a thing that has happened.
Yeah, I think I kind of skipped over that movie. I'm not sure I ever saw it.
I watched it back and it was worse than I remember, and I
Turned out-
remember not liking
I
it.
mean, he turned out to be really, really important in the whole Avengers thing.
Yeah, I like the character. I don't like when he's the center point of a movie.
Not everyone needs a movie.
No.
Josh, thank you.
Thank you.
That is what to watch this weekend. Hope you enjoy your weekend and your one day of spring. We will turn it over to John and Josh, who are out at Warner Park. Crossovers next. Talk to you Monday.
Live from the Host Coffee Studio.